You know what?
All right.
And this is too much. I have to leave. I can't.
Let's start over again. Let's leave the chat and
Yeah.
come back.
Yeah, you know what? You know, after having 3 weeks off, I think not doing this show with you two was actually the right move. Welcome in, everybody, to episode 30 of the Blurred Podcast. The episode that we never thought would happen. But we're back. Mostly because Dex dragged me out of bed, kicking and screaming. So thanks for that, Dex. I really appreciate that.
I only suffered a few bruises, you know.
From the kicking and screaming?
Yeah, well, from the kicking. I can deal with the screaming.
Okay. That's fair. March has been a pretty quiet month. Before we really start getting into it, I'd like to apologize if I start coughing in the middle of the stream. I'll do my best to edit that kind of stuff out. But I'm still trying to get over this.
Where have we been?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we get like
the
like super cut of just like our montage of what we've been doing for the past month.
It's a supercut of everyone like dying.
It's just It's like it's Limbus the entire time.
Oh, like do a fast forward of Limber.
Yeah,
Just hit the fast forward button with the double.
Yeah, I gotta be honest with you guys. I'm starting to get a little burned out from Limbus. I don't know how you guys feel about
yeah, me too. Actually, I've been pretty sick of it myself. But I was saying like Vanabout's on right now, and I think that they have this like theory that Vanabout is going to inspire people to play the game more, but it actually makes me play the game less. Like when I do like an hour of Vanabout, and I'm like, well, I don't want to do Sortie now. I don't want to do Limbus now. I think I'm gonna log out. You know what I mean?
It's like let's add a bunch of menial chores onto the menial chores that you're already doing.
Yeah.
Sounds super fun.
Oh yeah.
Well, please look forward to it. We're not removing it.
Yeah, I guess that should lead into our big thing is that just last week we had, or this past week, I guess, we had Prime Tours Adventure and surprise guest Big Fujito came on.
Yeah.
What did you guys did you guys watch it?
When I did not watch the whole thing. I was there when it started. And as people were asking me, because it started kind of late. Well, it was scheduled to start late, and then it started an hour later than it was scheduled to. But people were asking me if I was going to live stream it and like react and all that other stuff, and I was like, no, because I'm afraid that I will just be too negative, and I don't know, I don't want to like just like be super negative the entire time. And I'm glad that I didn't, because I was pretty negative. In fact,
Were you saying you were negative? Wow, I thought you really liked it.
no, I watched like the first like half of it, and then I just got up and walked away, and I was like, yeah, I'll catch up on this later. There's like no valuable or motivating information coming out of this.
I was in their chat, and very quickly I had to leave their chat and go to Velner, who was streaming it live, and vent in his chat because I was just like, I can't say these things directly to them.
Yeah, you were like, I don't want to get banned today, so I'm gonna say this to Velner, not to them.
It was cool to see like they had a pretty sizable audience for the topic, and like there were a lot of I think a lot of people came to Twitch that aren't usuals or regulars on Twitch to watch. A few people like even just like by indirect promotion, people spamming some Heghmoh emotes in the chat followed me. And then of course like Poffy's in there doing Heghmoh emotes and then only exclusively talking about how he wants the trust romance system. And I was like, maybe I don't want to be associated with this. Like maybe we should restrict our emote use. I don't can we
If we're gonna jump right into this topic, I need to preface this with like a disclaimer that I really do appreciate that Fujito took time out of his day to be a part of conversation directly. I do think they're doing their best to communicate things in a way that helps the community. Based on the conversation that was had on stream, it comes across as though these questions were not fielded to him in advance.
Yeah.
Based on the mannerisms, the chuckling when he's read a question and stuff. And many, if not all of these questions were kind of geared in a negative way because people are frustrated with the
Yeah.
content.
Right.
So I think he was
Yeah.
on the back foot, and I think a lot of the questions probably could have been worded a bit differently or better for translation to get what their
Yeah.
intention was across.
Yeah, it seems like
So I
the
don't
context of a lot of the questions was lost in translation for sure.
I don't want to, like, we're gonna meme on it a bit, and there is some amazing content that came from it, obviously. But
Yeah.
I don't want this to be like wholly negative. I
Yeah.
truly hope he does this again often.
That's what I was gonna say too, is that like I think I was shocked and I was like surprised. Cause like, I was pretty like, reluctant to get excited like we generally are with Final Fantasy 11 stuff. And when it started and like Fujita joined, I was like, oh wow, like this is way better
Yeah.
than I expected.
I don't think anybody expected him to show up, did we?
I was in the
Oh
lobby
no.
before, like, when the timer was at an hour, and then the screen wasn't showing any faces, but you could hear like call-in sounds, and then you just hear Japanese talking. I was like, "Whoa, they're gonna do something crazy. They're
Yeah.
gonna have Emma?"
Yeah. So it was nice. And like I totally agree with Dex. Like I think that like the the thing I'm afraid of is that like, you know, they they've done this and now they're like, let's never do that again. You know what I mean? Like we're never doing that again. Cause like, we talked about this yesterday to a degree, and it's like it is like, and we'll get into it in a moment. There is some frustration from it because there was a lot of like no's that came out of it. But to a degree, it's like that's I would much rather they openly communicate with us, and but that's what we've been asking for, and tell us no. Um, so we're not just like spiraling and coming up with a dream list that's never going to happen and then getting disappointed later. I'd rather they communicate with us, and tell us what's not possible, than not communicate at all, which is normally what we get. So
Players need to temper their
yeah,
expectations appropriately.
yeah,
I had a really good time because I'm in a Discord where this friend of mine was talking about exactly what Dex was saying. He's like, "Hey, people need to temper their expectations. Like, there's gonna be certain things that they just can't do like on a development level." And then like 5 minutes later, he'd be like, "Limbus fucking sucks," and I'd like copy and paste his I'd copy and paste his exact thing about earlier, like tempering expectations, and I'd respond to him with that.
yeah,
And it was a great time.
There's a middle ground to be had where, we're some of the most dedicated players of Final Fantasy. We're in the 1%, right? So, of course, we're gonna be extremely passionate and opinionated on everything that's happening. So,
Right.
obviously, like, we want what's good for the game, but also for our own sanity.
right,
Um, we're gonna have very skewed opinions about what the dev team finds to be the direct course. What they might determine is the best thing to do for the all-encompassing player base is not what really serves us in the
and
in the
therefore
short
it's
term or the
wrong.
long.
But that's what we're
But,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
but that doesn't make our perspectives invalid. It's just that's our perspective. It's not like a factual. I just don't want to like put anything out there that kind of skews that conversation away from that.
So what were the main topics that were discussed in
If you want to
Vegeta?
summarize it, it would be um like there's a lot of questions, right? But the three things were the trust update because uh, I think they fielded it initially as the questions were
wanted.
to be
Yeah,
about the March update, which is just
yeah,
trust, and that's obviously a very small amount of legwork that's been done. So I think more and more questions are
Right.
about other things more important. So trust update, Limbus, and then general game development stuff.
Yeah. So I think one of the biggest things that stuck out to me as far as the trust goes is they are never going to allow you to alter how the trust behave. And they're never
yeah.
going to go into the system and alter that is essentially what I heard. Was that about what you guys got from those questions?
Yeah, I think that so the question was like basically with trust, like can we alter their like logic to a degree. So it's like people are asking like, can we stop them from weapon skilling? Can we stop them from doing certain buffs or acting in certain ways so that we can skill chain? You know, that kind of stuff. And their response was kind of like, no. Like, and this is one of the answers where I'm just like, uh, and maybe there's a technical reason why as well, but his response was basically like in the lore, we want them to act in a certain way, so we can't change it. I was like, yeah, that's kind
Yeah,
of a cop out. That doesn't,
it's so
like,
frustrating, right? Because someone was like, "Well, Shantoto, she comes out and she just nukes stuff." So having her sit on the back and start buffing before a fight is just not her style, and that's not how the lore would represent her. And it's like, that's not. What are we doing here?
yeah, I think that
Right.
there will get it'll come up again. There's a variety of things where like, and maybe it's just you know feeling, like you mentioned, like, maybe Fujito was like hearing the questions for the first time and aware that he was saying no a lot, but like kind of being on in a defensive stance. But there are multiple examples throughout the thing where it's like somebody and like people are asking for a very simple thing, like, hey, can maybe Koltada not weapon skill every time she has 1,000 TP? And they're like, whoa, what do you I mean, I can't let you have Shantoto provoke. And I'm like, I'm not asking you to change, like their core behavior and become a tank when it's a caster. I'm just asking for like a little bit of logic adjustment. And like similarly, they're like, I think in one of the questions about server transfers and incentivizing stuff, they were like, look, we can't just give Rimas to everybody who transfers off. I'm like, nobody said Rimas. We like we just want a tiny little bit of incentive. So there was a lot of like uh shifting to an extreme as to why they can't do it when I think the question was asking for just a little bit of adjustment, but
Right.
One of the questions was like very innocuous. Can we get a Fujito P alter ego? We have a Matsui P alter ego. Oh, my alter ego would just suck, so no. It's like, what?
It means he thinks he sucks as a person. Yes, but
I think the actual answer was the Fujito P trust. What would it do? It'd probably just stand there.
yeah.
it would
Well,
not just it would
if
just
we,
say no every time you ask for something.
yeah, if we're basing it off the lore, he's not gonna do anything.
But it has to be lower accurate, so
Yeah.
just say no every time you need it. Yeah.
I think the biggest frustration with the trust thing was like, obviously it's early on and we just got these stats. They did give a positive spin on things. One of like the 2 or 3 positive things of everything was this, that 80 points a month wasn't good enough. Everyone's had their criticism of it. They're going to give us more points. They're planning to add additional avenues for points to like, I think they said ambuscade at first, but other things as well.
Mm.
And it's going to be 100 points per month rather than 80. They also
Yeah.
said that the stats that we're getting now is not all of them. There's going to be more stats down the road, potentially to augment multi-attacking, weapon skills,
Well, I think that's what
etc.
they've said is those though when they talk about multi-attack and DT and I think that they explicitly said that that would be what the equipment system does. So like when you can
Was it
equip
explicit?
your truss with like with DT plus or with multi-attack. I think they said that in the Japanese community thing when they previewed it
Okay.
and maybe in the little like I think it might be on Play Online too.
The way I had interpreted the question was that they're going to add more avenues to spend points, not just to
Yeah.
obtain points. So like,
According to our localization expert in-house, the new stats that they
here,
are considering adding are combat skills and magic skill increases, and the multi-attack and DT would be gear adjustments.
okay.
Yep.
At least we're getting more of something to
Yeah.
do with the points. But like, for them to say, oh, pre-buffing is not going to happen, and you being able to
Yeah.
control them. I think the way that I hated the questions, by the way, but the
Yeah.
question was like, can we control the trust similar to the way Beastmaster has ready commands? And then
Mm.
I guess it was a translation error. He's like, yeah, that wouldn't work because they're not pets. And it's like, that's not what we meant.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's like people are just asking, there's a little bit
They're
of
giving an
like
example.
localization adjustment and stuff like that. And like I think that I recently past few days I've been playing a lot with my adventuring fellow. And so like the adventuring fellow does a lot of stuff that people want trust to do, like pre-buffing. and all that kind of stuff. And so it's like, yes, that's also technically a pet in a lot of ways, and there's probably system limitations. Um, but I think that was like pre-buffing example is another one of those things where, people said, that's a valid request. If you
Yo,
want to
Myth
promote
is live.
trust
Say less.
for solo,
I'm on my way.
or like, and I'm expected to run in and do an HTMB even. I have to engage an HTMB with no protect, no shell, no haste, no songs, and like wait for those things to come up after the fact. And they're like, it's just not possible. Like they're basically like, I guess technically this is a technical limitation. They can't have them start acting without a target engaged. And so it's like this is one of those examples where they're like, I understand that and I get it, but it's like, could we get a way to make it happen anyway? You know what I mean? Can we like be creative? And I think maybe
I
Dex, you might have said this, where it's like, okay, so maybe in instances at the beginning of any instance combat where I can summon trust, maybe just put a striking dummy there so that we can like spoof engage and put buffs up.
well, I've seen people suggest if you have your weapon out, they then start doing things.
Yeah.
So you can do it at a distance.
Right.
Um, I don't know. There's just a lot of ways that you could come up with to circumvent that problem.
And I
I
think
feel
that's where like some of the frustration with people being like, it's like this is not a resource issue. It's an interest issue. Like they don't care to change it. That doesn't matter enough. You know what I mean?
They did
And
explicitly say that the trust thing is more for players who play solo for whatever reason. And
Yeah, I think there needs to be.
off them, but they don't want them to be like all encompassing.
I think there needs to be some expectation setting here. I don't think that the trusts are going to allow you to do serious endgame content. I think their intent behind buffing trusts is to allow them to perform in slightly more modern content the same way they used to perform when they were released.
Mhm.
Like, I wasn't around when they were originally released, but I assume that they were a little bit more like stats wise level with the stuff that was going on. They even said that their excuse me, their end goal was to get trusts to the strength of a player with AF +2, which is not very strong.
Yeah, I mean, it's I don't know. It's not super strong. It's not like it's gonna make your Sortie 8 boss with trust work.
Right.
But like, being able to you can solo Dynamis Divergent. You can do Dynamis Divergence at that level. I feel like you can do a lot of ambuscades at that level. You can
Right.
do a lot
Yeah.
of Omen, and like I think that's the expectation. And I
Right.
think that like,
But
we're just trying. I think that people I don't know. I don't
well,
I
we
think
we
there are
have
very few people that want to do Sortie 8 bosses with trust.
we had people that were posing these questions on the forums that were specifically like, let the trusts let me do basement bosses in Sortie. And I
Yeah.
was like, what the fuck are you actually expecting from this? Like setting the expectations to be somewhat reasonable is going to make these pills a little bit easier to swallow when Fujita's like, no, that's not what's going to happen.
Yeah, for sure. No, I mean, and I think that I agree with that. Like, I think that in that case, like those expectations need to be set. But I think the majority of people, like, we just want a system that works and helps people progress.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I think like the problem or issue that people have with trust not buffing is that when they do go into content, they engage, and before the buffs go down, the trusts all die. I
Mhm.
think that
Mm,
it's not so much an issue of them not buffing before the fight. It's
Mhm.
an issue of them dying, and the stat allocations might alleviate that drain.
Yeah.
mm.
They also said something to do with what was it? I'm just skimming through the things right now. Pre-buffing food. He had mentioned that stew pots work on pets because or not pets, trusts,
AOE
because
food. Yeah,
they're
AOE food should work on
I think
trust. That
that's
was what you
just
said.
brand new information, like, no one
Is
tested or
that?
knew that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do we have that tested? Can we? I don't even know how you would test to see if
Kind of said it explicitly, so
Yeah.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah, but do you think they really know how the game works is my question.
Yeah, yeah.
Like realistically. Um yeah, well,
Do a check param. Can you do check param on a trust?
I don't
Well,
think
no.
so.
Marine stew pots have HP plus 90. That should be really easy to check.
Ooh.
yeah, our translator said he said it in a very unsure tone.
Oh,
So
he
it sounds
did?
so it sounds like he actually indeed does not know what the fuck he's talking about.
So he was kind of like, well, stew pots should work because they're AoE, right?
Yeah,
He's like, I hope they work, so that's one more thing I don't have to do.
yeah.
Like, Jesus, that's crazy. But yeah,
There are posts saying that AOE food works on trusts, apparently,
okay,
according to the researchers.
okay.
Our panel.
So it sounds like, well, allegedly, it sounds like people have gone out and done testing, but
Mhm.
In Minecraft.
yeah. So yeah, is there anything else that was interesting
Trust-wise?
as far as the trust goes?
I think that's all that was discussed. They said, can Cornelia become permanent? And they basically just flat out said no.
Yeah, they said no, and I thought their reasoning was silly because there's like one trust slot and they want to balance it with Matsui. Is that basically what he said? Which I think is a ridiculous.
I think he
I
also
still-
basically said that he wants there to be like an incentive to do content, like the reward thing.
Yeah, to unlock Cornelia periodically, which whatever. But I also like. I just want like the one trust slot open thing. One, certainly there's at least 10 trusts that nobody has summoned in the past 6 months. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's probably some trust in the list that we could print. But two, I still don't buy the like we're out of space commentary as much. Like, I think like ever since they repeatedly said we can't add new items, there's no room. And then they're like anyway, so here's 20 new pieces of gear on top of the other 20 new pieces of gear we just added with artifact and relic, and then here is 72 different mats to make them. I'm like, whoa, what happened to the the space limitations? Like, why is there is that
Right. Yeah. We can't add new job abilities, but we can add 8,000 new pieces of trash to fill up your inventory.
Yeah.
That's gonna sell for 5K.
Yeah.
Okay,
Speaking
so
of trash to fill up your inventory, they had some Limbus, yeah.
yeah. So was there anything exciting about the Limbus stuff?
There was one positive thing, and it was, I want to quote the exact question. Could you shorten Limbus, especially to Minos, and make the rewards more consistent? And then after giving like multiple no's back to back to back about like things that everyone's been bitching about with Limbus, he was like, yeah, this has been a question that people have fielded in Japan as well. And we know that it takes a long time. We're looking into what we could do to maybe change that. And it was like, oh,
I just want to, as an aside, that is like probably my least favorite. And I don't know if it's just like maybe I'm not reading it right, but like he said that multiple times, and it's almost like this like, oh yeah, Japanese players have asked that question too, so this is a valid concern.
Yeah.
And like, like
That's what I got as well.
Yeah.
It was like the only reason we're responding with a positive tone here is because Japanese players asked for this too.
Okay, but yeah, they did say that there were I think it was two parts to that answer where they were like, we're considering potentially shortening Limbus in some way so that it's not quite as time intensive, and then like, but then at the same time they were like, we're not changing matter drop rates. That's going to stay exactly the same. That's where we want it to be because they want you to feel rewarded. Yeah.
I hated that.
Well, his matter drop rate responses were bullshit because every time he brought that up, he was like, "Are you guys actually going around and doing the chess mechanic? It sounds like you guys aren't doing the chess mechanic. It doesn't make sense. The matter drop rate is really, really good."
I love your.
And I was like, "Well, it was fucking ridiculous." Like he just kept saying, "We're really happy with the matter drop rate. Like just do the chess mechanic." Like we don't fucking do that every single time.
If you do the chess mechanic and you're unlucky, right? Then it's still
You could get one drop.
1
Yeah.
out of 5.
Yeah.
That's unacceptable. But
Which means
The fact
that means it would take 30 weeks to finish a piece of gear if you
I
were
don't know how to
super
word it, right?
unlucky. Yeah.
He was like, it was kind of arrogant or pompous for him to be like, "Oh, are you even doing the thing that we told you to do?"
Right. That was
It just came across as like grandstanding.
yeah. Yeah. He was like, "We added this mechanic in to make sure that you get 1 a week. Aren't you guys so fucking, like, grateful for that?" Like, no.
Yeah, when
What?
you need 30 though, and like that's for one piece of gear, so you really need 150 if you're doing a full set or something. And then if you want to do more than one set because you play multiple jobs, which they really highly encourage you to do in this game, like you're looking at doing Limbus for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? So
Translator is saying he sounded sad or defeated as if he was forced to make it a long grind.
hmm.
That would be sad if the upper echelon at Square Enix is like,
Well,
milk all
yeah,
these fuckers for as much as they're worth. Like, we don't care about
honestly,
them. Make
I
them.
think there was another instance of that, and maybe I miss it was again like we're getting localization through a translator, and then we're adding context to it and tone and stuff. But like there was when they talked about incentives for transfers, he said something. The response was something along the line of like we'd have to check what if we're not breaking any licensing deals or something like that. And I'm like, with Square Enix, like they can't discount it. They can't discount a transfer because Square Enix is like, no, we need the money. No, you have to send us full price. You know what I mean? Like it's your product. What are you talking about?
I don't mean to be rude, but like Final Fantasy 11 for a game that, for all intents and purposes, Square Enix pays very little for, is raking in a lot of money. It's one of their main profit generators, and they don't put any money back into it other than paying the salaries of the small team that works there and operating
Basically,
the
like,
server,
yeah,
obviously.
you're licensed with Play Online, which isn't that a Square Enix product? Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. That there's a couple things like that where it's like that, and I'm sure that there is, boardrooms where they're like, okay, we've got to, maximize profits, extend playtime, and we talked about that before. Everything in Final Fantasy 11 is about extending playtime. So, sure, that makes sense. I get it, but at the same time, like we're just asking for something just to make it a little bit more reasonable.
Yeah. I was happy with the fact that they said they are looking at making the Limbus runs shorter.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, at least at the very least, if nothing else, they recognize the time sink that is Limbus right now. And even if they don't make the gear acquisition shorter, just making the hours needed per week
Yeah.
shorter,
Oh, yeah.
would go a long way
Yes.
to me. Yeah.
I mean, I'm hopeful because they acknowledged it, but they didn't say they were going to do anything. They said we're going to look at it. It
Right.
doesn't mean they're going to do anything. There's no
Right.
definitive.
I think to me the easiest fix would be let people open a chest after 1 tower instead
Yeah,
of
we
4.
need it.
Um, but
So you're
that's
dividing your time commitment by
4.
4
yeah,
essentially, which I mean, I think is reasonable. I think that they'll be, that's going to be too extreme.
That's too little for them,
Yeah.
but
I agree.
But
Maybe
I
2.
think
2
that,
towers would be fine.
I think the best solution would be like take 2 floors away from each. Like instead of 7 floors, it's 5, and then
Mm,
any of the 5 and floors are like 3 and 4. Just take 20% off. Like
I
that
also
would,
think a series of
yeah,
ROEs would do very good for
yeah.
this content.
I think what they'd have to do to just to be realistic, because I think if you just took floors off, that might fuck up with the development in the background, I would imagine.
Okay.
So like just putting like saying what is it right now? You need 25 temp items in
Mhm.
Temenos. So dropping that down to like 15
Yeah.
or whatever. Just putting a different number tied to the chest, and it can be any combination of the floors. You just need X amount that is lower than it is right now, and I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, my fear is and we've talked about it because they've made adjustments to this before, so we know they can. And my fear is that they're like, "Oh, okay, so instead of 4 mobs, it's 3." And I'm like, that doesn't save any time.
No, it really doesn't.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you go to from 5, 6, 7 mobs to 6 or 4 mobs to 3, like it's the travel is the time.
Right.
So yeah. Maybe
I
for
didn't
like a
like
solo player that frees up a little time, but like for most people that are partying up for it, it's not gonna make too much of a difference.
I didn't like the answer from why do Limbus gear upgrades take a whole year and can that grind be loosened or reduced? And they kind of interpreted it in a weird way. They're like, well, it can be done solo, so it should take a long time.
Mm.
But like anyone who's done the content knows, like if you team up, you reduce time per week to get the grind, but the grind is still time gated. There's no way to increase the speed at which you acquire the armor
Yeah.
at all. And
Right. Right.
Be-
I think the reasoning that they put behind it is fair, but I don't think that they implemented it in a fair way with just how far they took that. They
I
like
agree that it shouldn't be like easy to get, but it shouldn't take that long. I shouldn't have to work for over 1 year to get one armor set when I can work for 6 months to get a prime weapon, when
Yeah.
it can take only a few months to do Odyssey and get comparable level gear.
Right. Yeah, you can get an Empyrean set in a week. My understanding was that he basically said we're essentially trading difficulty for time delays and for Limbus.
Yes.
And while I think that's a fair trade to a degree, I don't think how far they took it, which is like you said, 30 weeks for, or was it 30 weeks for 6 weeks for a piece of gear? Sorry, 30 weeks for like the full set or a
Yeah.
year
6
full
weeks
set,
for a
something
single
like that.
piece generally.
Is crazy. They just took that idea and they took it way too far.
Now,
We
especially
also
like,
talked
again, like when you're talking about the slowest rate at which you could do it. When you spend current like 4 or 5 hours in Limbus in a week, do or double that, 8 to 10 hours if you're doing both sides. I forgot that I have given up 50%. So like a lot of people are doing 10 runs and I'm only doing 5. But when you spend like, 8 to 10 hours in Limbus and you get +1 accuracy as a reward, like there's a disparity there.
They also
Yeah,
talked about
definitely.
the NMs in that they don't want to adjust it, even though they recognize that them spawning at JP midnight is inconvenient and, eliminates a large portion of the player base from pursuing the content. And they added their unique data as a reward to incentivize players to do the NMs, which was something that was needed. Before there was any reward structure, people complained about doing the NMs because it was a chore. They had to carry the server on their back. I get that. And I appreciate that they added something to it. But now it's a rat race and they all spawn at the same time and people get screwed out of it. So it's like,
Yeah, it is.
they
I
need
think
to
that
adjust it completely.
the system that they implemented, I think is a step in the right direction. I think unique data is like really cool. And I'm speaking as someone who has a bias that is like, I can do it. You know what I mean? I can maximize my unique data. But I totally get how it'd be frustrating. And I think that like just to say like these spawn at when most people are at work or asleep. Like
Yeah.
it does screw a lot of people out of it.
Yeah, my favorite thing about the Limbus NMs is watching you do them while I'm at work.
Yeah.
Yeah, super fun.
They also talked about scaling the difficulty for low pop servers, and
They basically
they
said no, right?
they shortly said no, but it was
I mean,
more of a
honestly, that's the one thing where I'm like, I don't know. I think that you can very easily do every single one of the NMs with 12 people. You know what I mean? Like, and if your server is so small that you can't get 12 people together, that's a different problem. Then maybe we need to talk about that in a different context. And some of them
Yeah.
are, in fact, like I know Asura has a lot. It's generally from what I've heard on stream, like Ultima is harder on Asura because there's too many people doing dumb stuff.
I think this last round, both NMs were felled quite quickly. I think more people are getting on board with what they're supposed to
Yeah.
be doing and how to be moving. I heard on one of the small servers that someone soloed Omega with helixes. So
Yeah. Yep.
and helix
That's
burnout.
that's crazy.
We actually with Omega, a bunch of players a couple months ago like bricked our zone. They like put all the halos at the beginning, which also needs to be adjusted because like you can lock out the entire server from killing Omega or Ultima. I don't think it's happened yet, but it's possible. And there was a scholar in there that was like just inside the entrance and wasn't getting hit by the AoE. And they were just like literally putting up re-rays, running in, helixing, and then running out. And they just slowly over like 3 hours took all the halos out so we could go back in.
Oh man, I love that. There's nothing more fun than casting one spell and then standing there for 3
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do in my gameplay. It sounds really, really fun, doesn't it? Sorry.
But yeah, I mean,
yeah.
you can't like again, like I think it's possible to do them all low man. Uh and I don't even know. I don't know. I don't know if they need to be adjusted in difficulty. But whatever. I don't know. Maybe I'm biased.
I don't think it'd be that difficult to add a scaling effect. There's plenty of content that scales with a number of
That's true.
that are present.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know. I've never done the NM, so it's hard for me to be like I have a strong opinion of them
Yeah.
because I literally don't even know the mechanics. I don't know anything because I've never been able to do them.
I think more importantly, what they need to fix with the NMs is some of the stuff that's obviously broken. You know, like unique data as an incentive, but like, you know, if people aren't in an alliance, like you can get shafted out of getting any unique data. It's all damage based, I think. So if you're like a healer, you're not getting any. Um Pets apparently can 100% break unique data. Like nobody gets any if a pet
Yeah.
does certain actions, stuff like that. That's the stuff that I think really needs to be fixed.
Yeah,
I do
absolutely.
think it's the inherent mechanic because there's so many players in one zone, and because trust count towards that as well, you can summon up to 3. They made it so that if you're above 30 yalms, you don't get credit. But then a lot of these NMs mechanics, especially like wave 1 and 2, where there's 3 NMs and you kind of want to separate
Yeah.
them, you
Oh yeah.
inherently want to bring them to different parts of the arena, and then somebody takes the L and gets screwed out of
Yeah.
data. I think that's really dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, on those
But-
like so like the first, the second, and third waves, we've been trying to like bind them and then all beat up one, you know, so that everybody's maximizing data. But yeah, if you're trying to hold, you know, your tank's gonna end up holding one if you're not doing that. And yeah, they just miss a third of the data.
Bummer. I guess if you're a tank, you better start dealing out some damage. You know,
Yeah.
just get that unique data. Start spamming those damage. Throw on a Helheim.
So, like, if you have a ranger in your alliance doing 10 million damage over the course of the fight, it kind
Yeah, no. I mean, if you're like a solar tank, like holding a mob on the side, you know, just throw on that Helheim and get to work.
I'm just saying, no matter how much damage they do, it won't come close.
Yeah, no, yeah, for sure.
Well, I mean, it could.
They would be doing all this extra work for a pittance.
Heghmoh's like, well, they could if they took 72 hours to fight it. It's fine.
Yeah, they took 72 hours to fight it. Or, you know, I believe that the official stance is that you don't need a stage 5 prime or anything to do anything in the game. You can do all the content with no Rima. So,
Oh, yeah, they brought that up.
so yeah, the tank should be able to get
Yeah, let's talk about what a fucking joke that response was. Um, if there was anything that like triggered me during that entire thing, it was that response. Like we built the game. This was in, just for context. This was in reference to making Einherjar and Nizul easy.
Yeah.
So we're moving off from Limbus, and we're on to the last section.
That was pretty much
Yeah,
all the
summary for Limbus. They might shorten it, get fucked on matters, and we're not changing anything else.
And then the next part was mostly focused on older content like Nizul and Einar specifically, and making that easier for newer players to catch up, stuff like that. And Vegito gave his signature, no, get fucked.
Well, they did the thing. They said the thing that's like the classic argument that people make, where it's like, oh, we don't want to invalidate the effort that other players have already put into making these weapons by making them easier to obtain. And it's like nobody cares about that. Nobody's going to be like, oh, it's easier for you. Yeah, sure. Somebody might say back in my day it was harder, but like you can make Einherjar a little bit easier. Nobody's like flexing about going in and AoEing it down. If you want to make that argument, it also used to take 2 full alliances to do Einherjar. It also took 6 months of funneling Dynamis currency to make a single relic. So
right.
Does you validate their experience? Yeah.
The problem with how the question was asked. The question was asked wrong. The person who asked the question said, can we get higher tiers of Einherjar that reward more so it takes less time, but is harder to do? Not to remove the grind or make the grind easier, just to have alternatives that are harder, more eye level appropriate, but reward more in kind so it takes less time if you do the harder version. And they said, oh, we're not making it easier. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Like the whole thing is just like, I don't like making a mythic, making an Empyrean, like those things, like they're not, it's not difficult content. It's like monotonous, and it's just like time sink. And I think again, like it just goes back to their philosophy effectively
The quest
of
is
like
literally called
everything.
duties, tasks, and Ds.
Everything should be to them about extending playtime. So like anything that's going to reduce the time that you're going to be committed to the game, they're probably not interested in doing.
Right. But I don't know. I feel like the excuse of invalidating other people's efforts before is not
That's a
a
cop-out.
valid excuse. Yeah, not even like remotely valid. Because I mean, it took me 2 years to get my first level 75 job. Should that be true for people today?
Right.
Like you can get 75 in a day, bro. Like this, it's absolutely ridiculous. If people if that was the real mentality, people would not play this game.
You can get, I mean, technically, if you with help from other people, you can get 75 and you can get to 99 in an hour. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I don't know. There's so many systems that have been expedited, so it doesn't make sense to use that as an excuse,
Right.
when they've literally done the same thing for very, very many systems.
When content gets a certain amount of time old, like however many years you want to call it, let's just say 5. If content is 5 years old, it's no longer as relevant as whatever they put out most recently.
Right.
And everyone serves better by having a quality of life adjustment to not only serve as like a catch-up mechanic to newer players, but like just to ease the growth for players who want to do multiple iterations of it or who have fell behind prior. There's no reason not to. It benefits everybody.
Yeah, if you can give
like
I was just gonna say, if you can give everybody a free Mogmananza weapon, you're not gonna break the game by making it a little bit easier to get.
Even like making it like nobody's asking for it to be I go and do one Nizul, like just maybe like half or 2/3, like we're just asking for a little bit taken off the top to make it a little bit more palatable.
This is on the heels of them cutting the Ergon grind in half.
Oh yeah, that's true. Exactly. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. They literally
did that, and they said no to Nizul and no to. It's like you just make the other fucking Rima weapon easier to make, and you can't do it for this one.
Yeah,
that's so.
I think that like like with all that context, it just comes back to like this isn't a we can't do it. It's a we don't have the passion to do it. We don't care enough to want to do that for you. And like, oh, that would be hard. So I don't. It's lore. The lore won't let us do it. Sorry, you know what I mean? it kind of feels like that, and it's just like, and then again, like it goes back to like, okay, sorry, when's the last time you made a mythic? Oh wait, you don't even play the game. That's right. So you don't it's like, I don't know anybody that's made one recently. There's so many fallacies in the argument.
Like, it's frustrating as a new player if you want to make an ergon weapon to have a 6-month time gate.
Yeah,
However, when that 6-month time gate is over of you doing imprimitors, the other requirements for that mission are very minimal compared to, I want to make a mythic or Empyrean. I have to do all the duties, tasks, and
yeah.
feats, and all the
Well,
money,
no,
and all
but
this, and then I gotta do all the ZNMs, and then I get my weapon. Oh, it's not high level. I
yeah.
gotta do Magian trials.
Well, even as a new player, like, I mean, talking about like the commitment and it being kind of cumbersome, like if you're a new player, you have to do all of the assaults to hit captain, and then you immediately have to do all of the assaults to clear
Get
books. Like there's so many, like so many things that are just like the whole process is archaic, and it's a lot easier than it used to be, sure, but it's also at the same time just like not,
They
not
could
fun.
not change Nigel tokens or in Harryar at all, and
Yeah.
just say you get the book from trading it to the assault, and then you trade it to the guy, and he remembers that forever. And
Yeah,
every
right.
subsequent mythic would be easier, and people
Yep.
would rejoice over that.
I think they should get rid of all of the Magian trials except for the Obera stuff because you need the
Oh,
dual
damn.
sync in the game. Get rid of all the
The
weapon
weapon
skill shit.
skill
Get rid of the weapon skill shit. Get rid of the salvage shit. It's just a time sink. It's boring. It's stupid. If you want to cut down on time, get rid of them. Just make sure that they keep in the Obero trading stones so that way they have a way to get gil out of the economy. Or I guess not gil directly, but
You're definitely not removing that, but I hear what you're saying.
yeah. That's my opinion. Like, I think weapon skill trials are absolutely
They're
ridiculous
definitely
option.
miserable.
Yeah.
But all that to say, I think that the justification, all that, they were like, well, we don't want to invalidate people that have done that grind in the past, which is kind of a fake argument to begin with. And then he followed up, doubled down, and followed up with like, anyway, but the whole game is designed to not need these ultimate weapons. You can do anything in the game
Yeah, that was
without a Rima, and everybody's like, wait, hold on, what? What?
crazy.
Next time somebody needs a 4-song honor march, Carmen Han Bard, we'll just be like, no, it's okay. Terpender's fine.
I'm gonna make a character named Frigito on Asura, and I'm just gonna like start showing up to content like telling people that I have a bard and I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
And then when they ask like where the 4 songs are, I'll be like, well,
Yeah.
Frigito said we didn't need Rimas.
Yeah.
So yeah, sorry guys. Oh my god.
Not making you make them. They're kind of just like achievements for the people who really want to do it.
Yeah, they're totally optional. But I'm not
It
guys.
just makes me wonder if they consider like end game activities and they test them without Remo weapons. Like we know man maybe problem without Remo weapons.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Yeah, holy shit. Well, yeah, they did, but they neglected to mention that they put themselves in GM mode. Was there anything else for the Nizal stuff? Were there any
So
other
I
topics
need to
or-
say this
Mhm.
because I've been on the rooftops yelling about this forever now, and
Yeah.
it finally gets fucking addressed in the wrong way, and I'm so mad at whoever posted this question on the forums. I'm so angry at you. Whoever you are, you need to go outside and touch grass, okay? Um, could you please make the 1,500 point login reward an old case +2 instead of a +1?
Yeah.
Fuck yourself. So logically, right? Before we even get to Fujito's response, if they were to do that, then everybody who has every character slot now gets 16 plus 2s a month for that one campaign. They bring the box around maybe 3 times a year.
Mhm.
That's not reasonable for the amount of effort put in.
Yeah.
What majority of players who actually do Sortie are asking for is for them to
Yeah.
simply make the ROEs once a month, and you can do Amanon once in a month. You can get your group together and do a 1-hour Amanon run if you need to. It's not that hard. There's a lot of guides out there. And then you get a +2 box once a month. No one's asking for more than that.
Yeah. I mean, I think that like people are desperate for anything with Sortie earrings because it's like, the math on it. If the probability, and I don't know enough. I haven't
It's really
remembered. We
low.
talked about
Really,
it on
really low.
stream at one point, but like you're talking about getting an old case +1 is already a low roll, a low probability, and then from there you're getting an upgrade on that is another low roll, and then you have a third 1 in 22 chance that it's for the job that you want it for. So it's like
I
some
will not sugarcoat it.
infinitely low.
Getting an earring
L
of a high roll of the job you want is abysmal.
Yeah,
Shitty
yeah,
grind. It's
yeah.
very sad and frustrating. Yes, there
And
needs to
so
be
people are
there needs to be
asking
more put
for
into the system,
right.
for sure.
People are asking for either like a little bit more drop rate on those, maybe a guaranteed old case +2 every monthly with the ROEs, a system to trade in earrings, something like that. It's like because you end up with 3 black mage +2 earrings, and you just really just want a single warrior +2 earring, something like that. And yeah, so I think that they were basically like, no, like we won't be doing that. I did think, and maybe this was a mistranslation, maybe this was just between the localization and whatever else, but I think that there was something like the end of their answer was like, please continue to do Sortie for your +2 earring case. And it's like, but we don't get one from doing Sortie. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't exist there either, except for the one time. And do they not know that? Do they not realize that? Or like, you know what I mean?
The way the translator seemed to have phrased it, because I don't think she does the
Mm,
content.
yeah.
She's like, "Please continue to go into the deepest dungeon to challenge the boss." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's where
Right.
the ROE comes from. But the problem is that the ROE is not repeatable.
It's just a
That's
single
the
time.
problem.
Yeah. Right. Right.
I think, I think it just came across as players being lazy or greedy to ask for it from login points, and it makes it sound like players don't want to do the content or the work for the gear,
Mm.
whereas I think majority of the players have the complete opposite perspective and just want the content to be more rewarding itself.
Yeah, it's kind of rough how it is right now.
But yeah, I don't know. That was one of those where it's just like again, like it this is something that we're telling you feels really bad. And like and I kind of went off on a tangent yesterday in terms of like talking about how Final Fantasy 11, interacts with its player base versus something like World of Warcraft, where it's like World of Warcraft has adjusted a lot to what players actually do. Like they have an open add-on culture where like they support players using add-ons. They've created official tools that mirror add-ons because players exclusively use them. Whereas Final Fantasy 11's like, no, you're wrong. You don't want it that way. We're not going to do it. Our way's right. You're not thinking about this right. It's like I don't know. Maybe we play the game a lot, and maybe just consider that
No,
we're
you're
struggling with this. It's not fun. And,
yeah, you're wrong though.
yeah.
You might play the game a lot, but you don't really know what you're talking about. So thanks for your input, but we'll keep doing what we're doing.
Mm.
Was there any other Prime Fruit Adventure things that's like out to you guys?
They said
What was the go
someone asked if they could remove wait for next game day
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
and missions and quests, and they said no.
Well, they said that they wanted to keep those for like again like lore reasons and in-game narrative and all this other stuff, and they're put in there intentionally. And if there's any that are especially like difficult to get past, then they'll consider it if you let them know. And we're like, I mean, like there's multiple times in Adeline where you have 2 game day waits in a row. So it's like, can we maybe start there? Yeah.
They asked if they could make it easier to report localization errors because on the NA side they happen often and some of them are debilitating, like the mask and the shoes.
That was
Kind of just
hilarious.
said we already have a system for that. And it's like, no,
Yeah,
so
they said like, oh yeah, sorry that sometimes it takes long because we do those on the game, like on the patch cycles and not like as hot fixes.
when they get
But
reported, then it takes until
yeah,
the very
that
next big
takes
update.
a month. I'm like, yeah, but sometimes it doesn't get fixed then either. You know, like
No,
I'm
correct.
pretty sure
Sometimes it takes 3
within
months.
15 minutes, within a minute, we were like, hey guys, you copy pasted the description of a Limbus item onto the null mask, and like 3 months later they finally fixed it. Yeah, but
It
They
was
wrapped
really
up
funny.
the whole thing with they're gonna plan to add an in-game progression guide for new players, like like ROEs that flag automatically. That's how
mm.
I interpreted it.
Oh, interesting.
So
I think that they need to adjust ROEs in general as an aside. Like, there's a lot of things they could do with ROEs, but um, yeah, they said that they were working on revamp. Well, ROEs kind of are the intro cycle. They just need to have it more clearly like integrated into how people should be progressing.
I can
But
say
yeah,
from
they did
speaking
say
to new
so.
players that it is not inherently obvious
No,
that ROEs exist.
absolutely not. And it also like you have to go and out of your way to find the quest to initiate it
Most
to
new
get started.
players
Yeah.
don't like have a wiki on a separate window,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
Yeah. If you're not playing Final Fantasy 11 with 3 different screens with your game, the wiki, and, like an auction house or Reddit thread
Yeah.
to hear people's testimonials, then I don't know how you're playing these days, personally.
My biggest criticism of the Prime for Adventure stream. I love that they did it. I want them to do it again. I hope that the negativity doesn't prevent them from doing it again. My biggest criticisms are twofold. I want them to field the questions in advance
Yeah.
so they can have more curated answers that they've put thought into, and so that they don't all come across negative. And two, I want them to read a question, and this is kind of tying in with one, but I want them to read a question and kind of like extrapolate on the question, not just answer it very bluntly and directly and move on,
Mm.
because the question might have intent behind it and the phrasing might make it more direct than it needs to be.
Yeah, we need to get Hikiri in as like the player advocate to be like,
Well,
no, actually, sorry, hold on a second. They mean this,
perfect example is, could you please make 1,500 point logins for two old case
Yeah.
+2 instead of +1? No, that would be too easy. It's like, well, people are mad about gold cases
Yeah.
because they're so rare. So can you do something?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
well,
think it's
think
like,
about that. That's all we
and
want
that's
to
where
hear.
like, I don't want to like, um, make any assumptions about, I kind of went off on tangent the other day about like, the community team and whatever. I'm like, this is a job. That's crazy. But, like, I think that you need the player advocacy in that conversation in some context where it's like, here are the people that are actively playing the game. And this is how we feel about it. We're not, we're not asking for free Rima handouts. We're asking just for like an adjustment, and like, here's the
That's
rotation.
fair.
Yeah.
Speaking of the community manager, Psyseeker looked scared the entire time to me. I don't know if you guys like picked up on that. She was like just very like
It's a difficult
focused in.
position to be in because, like,
Yeah.
that's the big boss. And
Yeah. No. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. That's the
there's
big
the
boss.
language barrier.
Yeah.
She's like
Yep.
pausing to see if the translation's ready.
Mhm.
I get what you're saying though.
And also, like, I don't know what, how their production was set up. Their production actually, I will say, was really good. You know what I mean? Like they with the questions and like they've got the little chat log texture in the background. I thought was cool behind all the
I did
questions.
like that.
Their studio setup was pretty good. Their they you could tell they weren't familiar or very often presenting in that way because like the microphone levels were constantly being adjusted up and down. Um, for volume and people talking away from the mics and stuff like that. So I don't know if like, she was trying to live balance the audio or whatever, but I did laugh because there are a few moments where she might have had a monitor off screen, but it looked like she was looking off screen like I'm I'm trying the best I can. Please, my don't hurt my family. Yeah.
As someone who also struggles with audio constantly, it made me feel
Yeah.
better about myself to see them struggling pretty badly too.
Yeah. I think that they're the only real issue is the mic volume randomly getting really loud. And I think that again, that was like because they were, with a microphone, they had the same microphone I have. And like they're pretty sensitive. Like if you end up moving it away from you, it'll stop picking up a lot of audio. And it's intentional because like it's not supposed to pick up background noise, right? And so I think that like as the translator was drifting away from her mic, they were cranking it up and then she would move back in front of it and it would just blast everybody. But
Oh yeah, love that.
yeah.
Cool. Overall, like I don't know, I feel like I am normally the person that tries to defend the SE team.
Hmm.
On this show, I was pretty disappointed with.
Yeah.
But at the
Yeah.
same time, it's like it's hard because I thought it was gonna be I wasn't even gonna watch it because I thought it was gonna
Yeah.
be another episode of them experiencing or doing XP in the dunes and
Yeah.
like fucking just doing nostalgia bait for the entire time while a bunch of people on Azura like followed them around and were being
Yeah.
obnoxious on stream. So like it was nice that it was not that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like my bar for Fujito being on screen was much higher than what they gave us personally.
I would have rather them talked about like ambiguous stuff, like what their plans for the future are
Right.
and how they
Right.
see things happening,
Right.
than like, oh,
I
if
mean,
this
I
if
kind
saying it,
of
no, not doing it. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
I kind of wonder, like my suspicion is that this is exactly what they wanted to achieve with this, in that like as part of the North American community team, they act as the community liaison. They're checking Reddit, they're watching YouTube videos and stuff like that, and they're kind of like getting an idea of sentiment and what questions players have, and so they're probably reporting back to the producers and saying like, hey, a lot of the North American community players want to know, are you adjusting matter drop rates? Are you doing this? And like eventually it got to be all this stuff that they're like, okay, we have to tell them no on everything. We have to like set, the expectation. So let's just do a
Right.
live stream where we answer their questions. We'll let them know that like we're not going to be doing any of that stuff so that we can reset the expectation creep.
Yeah. Let's
And
reset
like
the
I kind of
expectations and then not talk to them again for 10 years.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like I think that that's kind of what they set out to do. But I agree. Like Dex said it earlier. I think that like the thing that was most shocking to me from like a stream production or like an event production level was that like it seemed like, and Hakiri kind of said this as well. Like it seemed like Fujito was hearing the questions for the very very first time. And it's like,
Yeah.
man, you could have just like created a little bit more of an optimistic message if you had pre-screened questions and organized them in a way so that like we didn't get like, hi, exciting, Fujito's here. He's gonna tell you no for everything. And then at the last question we'll say maybe. You know what I mean? Like uh if they had just like paced it so that we got a little bit of like sprinkling of like, oh, we're excited about this coming. We're gonna be doing this,
Just had rough
um,
vibes, and that
it just
matters.
it felt like the company meeting, annual meeting where everybody just gets their budget cut, and everything's not great, and everybody just leaves like, oh, okay. I guess I'll go home to my family now. Like it didn't have a good vibe. Yeah.
Yeah. I I was pretty disappointed to say the least personally,
Yeah.
but I don't know. It feels super sloppy as the director of a game this old and this big with as much
Mhm.
legacy as this game has to not pre-screen questions for
Yeah.
a live stream for an audience that you almost never interact with. Like that how poorly planned was this?
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Are there
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I hope Fujito has thick skin because if he doesn't, we might never see him again.
I don't think
Yeah.
he's reading any of, or I don't think the things that we're conveying or that the complaints of the NA community are really getting across to him. Maybe the complaints of the JP community, because that's closer to
Mhm.
home to him. And I know it feels bad for us that they listen to JP criticism, but that's what they're a JP company, you know.
Yeah.
There's aspects of that are uncontrollable. Um,
Yeah.
one of my criticisms that I wasn't thinking of that I'm thinking of now, like thinking back on the live stream, is that the tone of his answers was as if he was conveying it to like a new player, but he's describing like end game activities that we all know how the event works or how the drop
Right.
rates work. And that's why we're asking the questions in the first place. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Yeah.
He kind of was like explaining the content in the answer, which did not
Yeah.
need to happen.
Which actually, to a degree, um, to his credit, it's like, oh, whoa, wow. So you actually do understand what's you're not just like entirely disconnected. So that's good at least that you know what Limbus is. Um
I would hope so. He's the director.
well, I mean, sometimes it feels like they'd have no idea what the game
Yeah.
is at all,
Yeah, if he came in and was like, "Oh yeah, Limbus, the content with the white walls," Heghmoh would be like, "Wow, that's great. I love that he knows that it's white in there."
Yeah. I mean, that's enough for me sometimes. And I will say, like, again, like I know that it was a very I think most people that watched that in our community at least left it feeling kind of discouraged and like, oh
Has a
well,
bad taste in
that
our mouths
sucks.
for sure.
But I will say, like, to their credit, to a degree, it's like it feels bad mostly because it's all this and it kind of you have a bad taste in your mouth and it's paired with we have gotten a lot of new stuff. Like we've gotten all new Limbus sets and like they're talking about implementing new things down the line. We've got, you know, for what it's worth, even though they're not for us, at least in this podcast, like there's the Kieran and Fafnir thing. We've got Artifact in Relic +4 recently. Like they are doing stuff in this 24-year-old game, which is great. And I don't want to forget that they have responded to our requests and things like that with the player survey that they did recently, and they're listening to a degree. It's just like when you pair like that it's easy to forget all that when you're told a bunch of no. And then in the same breath, I think the thing that stood out most to me is like, they're like, yeah, it's crazy. Like, which we didn't talk about the server stuff. We skipped over that, but they're like, it's crazy. We have all this incredible interest from new players and this surge of player base, so much so that we have to close 3 servers, and we're working really hard to figure out a solution and trying to figure that out. Um, but we're also not going to do anything. We made all this money and we appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you for the money. We got it, and nothing's changing. Bye. It's like
I remember that
Um,
comment where it was like,
yeah.
we actually saw one of the biggest influxes of new players
Yeah.
recently, and it's like that's a lot of income, and you're not
Yeah.
using it.
Yeah. So what are you giving?
Oh, they're using it. They're using it, just not for us.
Yeah.
Oh, 14. Got it. But like,
But the
as snarky and sarcastic as we're being with that, like
yeah.
that is the perception, whether that's
Yeah.
true or not. Obviously, we're not going to know how it works in the back end, and nor do we need to, but like we need to, there should be some saving of face to some degree to restore player confidence.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The server stuff we didn't really talk about. They did say they a few things about shutdowns and the server lockings and stuff like that. Was there anything like, especially for those of you on Asura, like, was there anything in that message that stood out?
I don't think I was around for that one. I think I turned it off and went to bed at that point.
Yeah.
They
I
were
think mostly they just said like we have considered maybe doing incentives. That's where like we can't give everybody a REMA for transferring off server, and like so like nobody asked for that. And there's a few other comments about um you know that whole process, but
it seemed like they were being a little sarcastic with that. Like I don't think they really meant it that way. Like I think they were just saying like we can't give you the world for transferring
Yeah.
the server. You know what I mean?
Why not?
Mhm.
But there's so many small things that they could do. They could literally just copy 14's model of like
Yeah.
little silly things for transferring.
I mean, again, like if
14's
you
a
have like a
different
lot,
game.
it's super common in 14 and World of Warcraft and to have low population server incentives with like a minor experience points bonus or,
It's kind of
like stuff like that. Like,
I get that, but
but
it's
yeah.
I understand that it's different though because like you can transfer whenever you want on those games. Maybe not WoW, but
Yeah.
I know
I
like
don't know.
on RuneScape you can swap servers at any point and
Oh,
lower
we also said, there's no,
them.
the infrastructure, the way that servers are built, there will never be cross server functionality. So
Oh, true. No,
no cross
better
server
auction
function
house.
house. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, no crossover auction house. They did say they were gonna work on the the party finder stuff once that stuff is kind of taken care of. Um
I don't
but
know how valuable that is though. I kind of wish they weren't
yeah,
working on that
yeah.
personally.
But they said they put that on pause because they were working on the server side stuff, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're working on back end stuff, and I think that they mean like the play online adjustments, and people are excited about those. They haven't really clarified what that is, but I think the thing that they have said about that is that it's like, for some players in certain systems, when they open play online, like text doesn't load, and so I think they're just like literally making it functional. But
Right, yeah. Like I have a friend that like black screens constantly in just random
yeah,
zones, and he's like uninstalled the game like 2 or 3 times and like nothing has
mhm.
worked. So I'd love for them to fix stuff like that because like make the game
I mean,
playable.
I would love for them to like even just update the back end to so that it communicates with modern DirectX so that you can actually use your graphics card. That would be cool. That would help a lot of people out, I think. But uh maybe
Yeah.
that's unreasonable.
Yeah, it's they'll consider it, but i.e. Read they will not do anything. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for your question though. Anything else for Prime for Adventure before we actually start the episode?
I mean, this was the big topic of the week. We kind of had to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. We have some emails that Dex is gonna
Mhm.
kindly read for us.
Where do you want me to start?
Why don't we start with uh Huovos's podcast questions from March 10th?
Hey guys, it's
We saw
Mithposter's again.
I was gonna say,
Uh,
what was also said he had something a gift for us that he wanted to share.
I
oh,
sent it
He
to you.
wants
I sent it to you already.
Oh, okay.
The it was a Chocobo raising guide that he sent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wants us to I think he wanted to talk about it. So we'll get it after the email sent.
well, that's
Oh, he wanted us to talk about it.
Oh,
Oh,
okay,
okay.
that is the second email? Okay, good. Okay, go ahead, please.
Hey guys, it's me, Huovos again. The localization team have helped us learn new words over the years. Think back to stuff like crepuscular cloak or
Hmm.
cicatricos raz. Cicatricos raz. What new vocabulary have you learned from Final Fantasy 11 over the years? What do they mean? Best of wishes. What the hell's a cicatricos?
I'm not familiar with it. Can you
I
paste it in
yeah.
somewhere? I know crepuscular. Crepuscular is the Shinryu stuff, and
So,
crepuscular.
to his question, like, we've been granted all this new vocabulary. To me, like, these are game terms. They don't mean anything. Like, I'm not learning anything.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Well, crepuscular is like twilight. It's like the
I
yeah,
guess because
yeah,
Yeah.
Twilight Cloak became Crepuscular Cloak.
yeah.
Yep.
Like in my brain, I would associate one with the other because of the gear, not
Mhm.
with what its meaning is. Does that make
Mm,
sense?
yeah. I
Like
mean,
you don't
good.
mean
The number one thing that stands out to me is stuff like jail, Sheol jail, like Gaol, is just like the old English or some archaic spelling of jail. Um,
someone in chat said mask with a SQUE.
hmm.
Mitsuki,
And there's a lot of
the null mask. Hell yeah.
a lot of archaic typings, and that's pretty common in
I
Final
wouldn't say that
Fantasy
that's new
adopted.
vocabulary though. That's
Yeah.
like olden ways of saying things. Which yeah,
I mean, I guess like
yeah, like especially that was like a fantasy game, you know?
how often are you using crepuscular in your day to
You're
day
not.
now? Ah,
You're not even saying
the
Twilight when you're talking
crepuscular
about Robert Pattinson.
light is
All right,
You ever
you
seen
guys
the
are boring as
Crepuscular
fuck.
movie?
All right, be quiet. You guys are so boring. Okay, so first of all, I've learned a lot of like random like mythology and lore bits. Just because like looking up the names of things. Like we even did this on stream a while ago when you were looking up how to pronounce gay booyah and the story behind it, stuff like that.
yeah. That's
Um,
fair.
so that's always great. Like there's tons of stuff here. You guys talk while I yell at my dog.
Okay. Yeah, I heard
That's
the
a
bar.
great booyah.
the
I've
bar-
never seen one.
Yeah. I mean, I think that there's a lot of I think it's more like just general knowledge that you learn. You know what I mean? And I think that RPGs in general will do that for you. You know what I mean? Where it's like you get um little like snippets of lore or mythology from different cultures that you never would have learned the word.
But you know, like where my favorite ones is like you remember playing in like 2006 and seeing all the super edgy link shell names. Like that's where I learned the word antipathy. Well, because it was a link shell name and I thought it was super cool. And I looked that up and I was like, oh, that's such a cool word. So
Dude,
when I was
man.
so when I was 12 years old, I'd like write antipathy in my English papers because I'm like, oh fuck yeah, dude, I'm so cool. I know this word. Stuff like that was like my favorite. There was like a naming convention on Sylph where you know, the link shells were like pinnacle or like things that were synonymous with like being the best or on top of stuff like that. So that was like a big thing for me. It was learning words because people were fucking little edge boys and they named their link shell stuff like that. Which is why I named my old link shell so at a similar naming convention. Yes.
Nice.
I didn't know you were trying to avoid it. Sorry.
Oh no, it's fine. It doesn't exist anymore. It doesn't matter.
I think the first thing
I don't want to
me
be
and my friend,
associated with that trash group.
yeah, me and my friends made way back in our we were like it was like Futa Club.
Whoa.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
I'm down for
That was our level of edgy.
Dude. So edgy. It's like almost as edgy as the people with like the XX on the sides of their names. Like XX Heghmoh X and I was like, oh dude, you're so fucking cool.
Yeah, that's literally what it was. So it was Futanari Club and one of my friends like later somebody I like joined a Discord. They were playing like League of Legends, and they were like, "Yeah, we used to play Final Fantasy 11 together." I'm like, "Holy shit!" I'm like, "That's crazy. We're in this. You were in our link shell." And he's like, "Yeah, dude. I for the longest time thought it was Futurama Club, and I thought we were just talking about how much we like Futurama."
Good news, everyone.
Oh man, that's so funny. Yeah, there's lots of cool like words sprinkled in throughout.
If I were to be like realistic with the answer, I think the words I've learned the most are like words that associate with pieces of equipment, and like that might be a cop out, but like
Mm.
all the like old types of armor or like shoulder pads or neck braces or all those things, like yeah, they used to exist in like Middle Ages and shit. And I wouldn't know those words without playing games like this.
Hell yeah. Have you ever read a book, Dex?
Maybe. Does the book have pictures?
Audiobooks are acceptable as well.
I've
Sure.
read a lot of books that have pictures. Does that count?
Okay. Only if it's the Vanadil Compendium coming soon, TM. Okay, anyway, thank you for the email. I think we are ready for the next one.
Sure. You want to do his other email first?
Yep.
Quovos?
Sure.
Hey, it's Quovos. You were given access to the Google Doc for the attachment. They're talking about the Chocobo notes. In fact, of all y'all should in fact, of all of y'all should raise chocobos for the coveted mastery rank. Yeah, almost all of the information the guys ripped from BG Wiki, Clopedia, and Zam. I forgot that Zam existed.
Oh yeah.
See, I thought this was just an email for Heghmoh, but Heghmoh says otherwise. It's a chocobo raising guide that Wovos has made and sent.
I skipped through it. It was pretty encompassing.
Yeah, Wallace has been working on it. Well, at least I told him we would talk about it. I said to email it in, and I told him we would talk about it. So,
Okay.
he made a chocobo raising guide for all of us mastery rank
Pursuers, enjoyers.
pursuers. Yeah, enjoyers. So have you I know Dex recently did chocobo raising. Have
My
you
bird
ever?
is 29 days old. It's about to be an adult.
Damn, almost an adult. How about you?
He's gonna be black. He's got the black feathers on his tail.
Yeah, so when chocobo raising came out years and years ago, I started one. But the problem with it is that we have to check every day. And if I remember correctly, back then you couldn't like skip the cutscenes. So like if you missed a day, you would come back and your chocobo would like basically you'd have to sit through like a 5-minute cutscene of your chocobo crying that it was neglected. And if you like missed multiple if you missed multiple days in a row, you'd have to sit through all the cutscenes.
Yeah.
So like I missed like a week in a row, and then I was like, you know what? I'm never gonna go back. In fact, like I can't sit through the cutscenes. Like
Yeah.
I can't watch my chocobo be miserable. So I kind of abandoned him. And
Oh no, you're like, I can't watch this poor thing suffer, so I'll just never look at it.
I went to go
Further than I ever did.
I went to go get some chocobo milk. And I just never came back.
Papa needs a pack
damn.
of figs. Be right back.
Yeah, I did come back like 6 months ago. And
Oh, you found a skeleton in the
yeah. So I started a new chocobo. I was like, maybe I'll be more consistent this time. I was not more consistent this
No.
time. And I started it and I have not gone back since the first day. So that's been my experience.
You're going to hell, man.
Yeah, on my very original character, I had a black chocobo. I had risen a black chocobo. I don't know if its stats were any good. I can't remember. It's probably like slower than the default chocobo somehow.
They always are.
Yeah,
Unless
okay.
you have a completely maxed out SS with Gallop.
Nice. But I mean, yeah, I mean, I'd be down. I'll check out the guide and maybe we can figure out a way to showcase Huevos's work a little bit on stream or otherwise. But yeah, thank you so much for taking the time. I think he said he was working on, once Chocobo raising is done, he would move on to the next obscure topic. I can't remember which one that was. If Huevos is here, let us know what your next guide's going to be so we can
There's
start
quite a lot
wrapping it up
of
for you.
obscure topics that I think deserve a YouTube video.
Make a guide for escort quests.
I could do that.
And Ken and in Bass.
The Ken one is the one that is jumps out as the worst ever.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of stupid escort quests in campaign ops as well as Abizia that are overlooked.
Which, by the way, if anybody out there is like a game developer, nobody likes escort quests, by the way. It's not fun at all.
The freaking AI on these mobs that you have to protect is so dumb. They just try to commit suicide at all times.
Oh yeah, Treasures assaults have some escorts as well, don't they?
True, that too.
Yeah.
The
Professors, yeah. Oh, and the Upkalu mating is kind of a escort as well.
We hate them. Please stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know, Heghmoh, is Huevos posting these anywhere besides sending them privately to your mailbox?
I think maybe we're getting them as a pre-release, and then I don't know if he's got any intention of
he might be
publishing
publicly.
publicly.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, Huevos, if you're listening and you want us to share where people can find these guides, we'll be happy to put them out in the wild. If
we could probably make like an Imgur link or something and put
you could do is put them on Heghmoh.com and you can take credit for Heghmoh.
That's a
Yeah.
good one.
Yeah. Honestly, I think that'd be great. We could definitely credit him as a co-contributor.
No, that's
So yeah,
fine.
definitely.
Yeah. Okay, cool. What else do we got?
All right. This next email, longtime listener, first time caller. What's up, y'all? Been listening to podcasts, and I have to say I disagree. With that out of the way,
That's it. Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
with that out of the way, I'd like to hear y'all's take on something I've been wildly speculating on by myself with my friends who are too busy to play.
Okay.
I heard the last Limbus update will include weapons, which got me thinking, like, there's only been one expansion in the entire history of the game to never have ultimate weapons associated with it. And it's the expansion that I think most people would agree is their favorite. And it's the content that's been it's the content that's being grinded like a fat girl in a club as we speak. Chains of Promathia.
Wow. Holy shit. Okay. Sure.
Wings didn't have a weapon either, or does that would
Yeah, Wings did not have a weapon, and technically, I don't think Zillard had a weapon either.
Unless you
I
count,
guess Abyssia was like within
but
the
he was
envelope of
alongside
weapons.
Wings.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's fair.
anyway, do you guys think the new COP Creep will look like Aearn weapons or what? CREAMP. And you know what he was going for.
Yeah, for sure.
They would match the Limbus gear where nothing else really does. Also, I had a chance to play with Dex and Shiraj in my short stint on Asura. If I knew what if I knew what I was in the presence of goats, I would have tried to make less of a bad impression. Crying emoji. Anyway, just some food for thought. I'd like to hear y'all's thoughts on a possible COP ultimate weapons.
Yeah.
Much love. Elote low.
Do you think that so they've said this is where the rumor comes from the live event that they did in Shibuya. Apparently, after they cut the stream, they took questions, and one of the people on the dev team leaked that they're working on Limbus weapons. This is where this rumor comes from. For anybody who's not up to date, have they? I mean, we don't know what that means though. These could be besieged weapons. You know what I mean? These could be anything. It doesn't necessarily mean we're getting a Rima level weapon. I just want to, throw that out there as well.
Yeah, it's probably going to be a little bit worse than, say, a ambuscade weapon, and it'll probably take about 10 times as long to make.
Fair enough.
I'm not looking forward to Limbus weapons because I don't like Limbus right now. That being said, I think making like Aearn weapons or skins like it would be cool. Bettering Glade from Promathia is a cool model. Like more stuff like that. Obviously, they're gonna have whatever stats they're gonna have on them.
I would be interested in Limbus weapons only if they are similar to like Obero weapons, where they are like do specific things for specific reasons on their associated jobs.
Yeah, we were talking about that actually, like in terms of the comparing them an analog to the Obero SU5 weapons. And like that was my initial thought. I was like, like in terms of making them crafted, making them augmentable, you could just make them white and purple and blue like the Limbus armor and just like take that same model. But apparently, supposedly they paired that statement with saying that this is one of the first new in-game models that isn't represented in the game that they're going to be adding.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
see that, Brian. That's interesting.
That was what I heard. And like that's just like somebody saying he said she said this in my Twitch chat. So like they could have just been making that up. So I don't know, but
Yeah.
it would be cool. I mean, it would be cool if they were, augmentable in a way that like they actually have a huge impact on core job like abilities and things
That's
like
what
that.
people
Like
want the most. I might be speaking out of turn, but I feel as though people resonate the most with mythic weapons because they do just that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the reason that mythics are more prevalent than relics is because they have unique job boosting functions.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I don't know. I've seen people speculate on the auction house. I saw some people say I hope they're like upgraded TP bonus weapons, which I don't really I don't know about how I feel about that specifically. But they'd need to make these weapons pretty unique for them to be worth doing another Limbus grind for. And it's gonna be at the very minimum, it's gonna take as much time as one piece of gear to make. So
Yeah. Oh god.
yeah, that's
Gonna be
no no.
super time consuming, impede on my ability to make armor, and make me upset all the
Yeah.
same.
I don't think they're gonna be Rima level though. I don't expect them to be Rima level. Especially
Yeah,
not
I don't
prime level.
I don't think so either. I mean, I think not right after primes were relatively recently added. I don't know. I honestly, I'm expecting like Limbus weapons, like legit, like sort of like the domain invasion gear, sort of like the besiege stuff. Like I'm expecting stuff that like literally you can only use in Limbus.
In Limbus, enemies DT minus 50%.
Yeah,
Like that would be
I mean that would
hilarious.
be even then, like that would be more than I'm expecting, but
Yeah, but what if it was like just good enough to make them worth making just to use in Limbus? That'd be crazy.
yeah. And,
I'm kind of afraid of that.
Knowing Square Enix, this is their they said that they want to make Limbus shorter, and what they mean by that is the Limbus weapons are going to decrease the enemy's DT, and so you'll be able to run it hypothetically faster, and both of those things are the same thing. This is your sweeping job
Good.
adjustments of
I had
26.
Some piece of content that made us so powerful that the content got faster by a degree of like 5 or 10 minutes, I think that gear would be too powerful. You know what I mean?
I mean, look how primes affected Sortie. They heavily
Yeah.
impacted how much you could do in Sortie. But I don't know. We'll see. I heard somebody say that their idea of lessening Limbus time was actually going to be the battlefields that they implied.
Oh yeah, they
They're gonna
said there would be Battlefield.
yeah, they're gonna like retroactively say that this was intended all along, and the battlefields will make up like you'll be able to open one chest instead of a climb or something like that, and be like, look,
Yeah.
guys, we made it shorter. But yeah, that's my expectation.
That's fine. That would be okay with me. You know what I mean? Like, if it actually saves time, then sure, I'll do Battlefields all day.
Yeah, but it'll be like one climb that saves you a week or something like that. Is is what I would
I
expect.
mean, I'll take it.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
kind of
man.
get that. I hope it's not the case, but we'll see.
Yeah. No, I mean, I would take it too. Because I'm out here like a moron. I keep making jokes like with my friends that are like, I'm not gonna waste my time with Limbus because it's not worth the time effort. And I'm like, yeah, but you're gonna look real silly when I've got 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 5 Limbus pieces and you don't. But
What, in a year?
yeah, exactly. But like realistically, like what are we gonna implement this gear on? But anyway, it doesn't. That's a topic for another time. I just think it's funny to make fun of myself for killing myself against Limbus for days
Yeah.
on.
Oh, well, if you can't make fun of yourself, then what can you do? I'm a moron
That's a
after
great
all.
point. It's a good point on both counts.
Yeah.
The moron and making one.
Can't argue.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You could try a little, but
Nope. No, actually, no argument.
shit.
All right. What do we got next?
Milo's podcast topic request? And
Yeah.
here we're gonna get right into it, right?
Yeah. Let's actually start the podcast.
2 hours in, let's see our
Yeah, I was thinking about messaging you guys in private and being like,
Podcast?
I was thinking about messaging you guys and being like, should we just like cut the normal topic and do that another time? But I know you guys are masochists and you'll just keep talking for hours, so I decided not to.
I'm gonna look. Up to you guys. If you want to save it for another day, that's fine. I'm gonna be here anyway, so
See you.
can chat longer if you want.
That's exactly what I figured you'd say. And Dex is always like wants a longer one, so we're doing it.
All right.
Go ahead.
I would like to request a topic of conversation for a future podcast today because it might be a little bit more involved than just quick requests, yada, yada. Do you guys think you could do something similar for the exclusive mission rewards across all expansion? The older ones might be completely outclassed in 2026, but I'm sure there are some niche uses that many people might not be familiar with. For example, I never knew until recently that all the situations where the Weatherspoon Ring's light elemental mab comes in handy.
Okay.
Um,
That's
or
the
the
that's
Cocaine Rings.
we'll correct that misconception on why you should get weather from me a second. But
Yeah, you thought wrong. Anyway,
Yeah.
or the Volcane Ring's knockback resistance is something that stacks with
Mm.
other gear containing the same stat. And I'm sure that there's pros and cons to using Schnetic for movement speed that I
that's
haven't
the answer to all your questions.
Will the 12% movement speed not reach cap even with bolters and Berserka, feet, jig, etc., and get left behind with the rest of the 18% stuff? Like, does Jumbo Tender matter in 2026? Also, I'm not sure if anyone feels super knowledgeable about the Beast Pup Summoner, but I'd love to get a sense of how beneficial things like Thyrandot Ring or Nyame Path D are for pet jobs. Oh, that's like a completely different discussion.
Yeah.
The Nyame, at least. If we were to discuss them in a vacuum and ignore opportunity cost, I'm including Nyame in the convo because it's another choice locked decision, even if it's not exactly an
Mm.
exclusive mission
Oh
reward
no,
like the
Odyssey's
others.
a mission reward. I see.
Just felt like it'd be make for a great episode. Thanks as always, Milo. Well, Milo's always given us a lot of stuff to talk about.
Mhm.
Yeah, thanks, Milo. Appreciate that. So we're gonna start because Dex wants to go all the way back
Yeah.
to the OG mission rewards.
What we do here is go back.
Yeah, and we're gonna start with the Apocalypse Night earrings. And I guess we should also include the Divine Might earrings.
Oh,
So
1 second. Hold on. Hold on. Each of the Bastock missions or the nation missions gives a different Atma. So
Atma.
yeah, Atma the hero from
Actually, I think we should go ahead and cancel the rest of this then. Uh, no, fuck Atmos.
Oh, let's go all the way back. So at rank 9, you get a Bastukan flag.
Bruh,
yeah.
brother, please, dear Lord. All right. So we're gonna start with Zillart, and work there. I don't think we need to go into detail about all of these rings because I feel like they are.
Earring?
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like for the most part, people have these relatively figured out. But we're going to be talking about the archangels first. So we have Abyssal, Beastly, Bushino Mimi, Supana Mimi, and the Knight's Herring. Which one of these guys? Yeah.
The quick and dirty is in the modern era of Final Fantasy 11. Supano Mimi is the only one that provides any benefit. And
Yeah.
that might have even been true at 75.
Yeah. So I seen
People did silly shit. Like, I know samurais liked the Bushido Mimi because back then 2 strength on the earring was insane. But that's long been outclassed. Long been outclassed.
Yeah, the skill used to be nice because accuracy and attack was hard to come by on earrings. So these were things I think shield skill on the knightly earring when the knight's earring was used occasionally, but it wasn't like a huge thing. But overall, Supana Mimi is surprisingly still relevant at times. And yeah, do you still use it, Dex?
In some sets, but I've been shying away from it lately.
Yeah, you have to like dual wield again. Like I think we've talked about dual wield before on the podcast, but it's such a finicky thing. Like you can have too much. You want to have the perfect amount of it. There's a lot more options right nowadays for getting your dual wield if you're dual wielding on a job. So like it's flexible and there's a lot of really good earrings nowadays. So like sacrificing, another earring might not be worth it, but
Just to
I think
dive into it like briefly, if you're sub ninja, you need plus 11 to cap, assuming you have haste.
Mhm.
Typically what people do is they'll do the Reiki Yotai belt plus the Iabani earring plus 4, max them out. If they're not doing that and they're going more balls to the wall paper, they'll use Supanomimi with why can't I remember the name of it? The Adamar body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they'll forego all of that and just go +10 dual wield on their ambuscade cape and
Yeah.
accept the loss of one dual wield.
Exactly.
That's normally what I do is dual wield on the cape personally. Or Reiki Yotai with the
I think the Yotai and Iabani is better. Some people ignore dual wield altogether and just put more multi-hit and say fuck it.
Mhm.
I think the typical choice for like endgame players from word of mouth and experience was to just use the back piece with 10 and not worry about
Yeah.
it. I think
Right.
the introduction of the null shawl has made that more complicated because that cape is very good.
Yeah, the magic evasion on the cape is super nice, especially if you count in like the little bit of extra magic evasion you get from the Iabani earring. I think it's more of like a play style preference at that point, to be honest.
Yeah.
In my opinion, but I feel like the one dual wield is likely going to be null as far as
Negligible.
yeah.
Like
You're gonna make up or lose more damage than that by targeting mobs slowly in Odyssey or whatever.
Correct.
In the 1% dual wield.
realistically, you could never get any of these earrings and you wouldn't notice anything.
Yeah, you would. Yeah, I mean, like when you're talking about Iabani versus Supanomimi, if you can tell you're missing one dual wield, like
It's bigger
that's
fish to
crazy.
fry.
Yeah, and like I would probably in most cases trade one dual wield for 15 magic evasion. Yeah, so it's like, I think that that you could definitely forget that these exist, and you'd be fine.
Yeah. On the other hand, the Apocalypse Night earrings do still have a little bit of a use. Ethereal stuck around for a really long time just because it's kind of unique. The damage taken to MP was kind of cool. That was the only thing that did that, I believe, prior to Ochen. So that was a really, really cool earring to have. I loved that thing on Paladin back in the day. I can't say I've used it recently for anything, but I think I still have that floating around.
Nice.
Have you guys used any of these earrings?
No.
I use magnetic, frankly.
Yeah, I was gonna say magnetic is
Like, I
also
don't-
good for the sword.
Oh yeah, spell interruption down and stuff.
Well, I use it in like conserve MP settings too. It just all around. The sword is really nice. It's a large amount for an earring. It surprisingly helps push the difference because you need like 103 or whatever.
Yeah, you need 102 sword, and it's very, very nice. It's a good
A lot of
alternative.
Love,
Mhm.
love the ethereal, but I've never really been on that.
It's pretty outdated. I think it was more important when tanks actually took damage
Yeah.
more regularly. And
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, does this suffer from the same thing that like the Empyrean piece does and everything else, where it's like it's a percent of your post mitigation damage that you actually take. So if you take 2 damage, you're getting 3% of 2, which is 0. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, like when paladins have phalanx plus 30 and they're I'm exaggerating, but they're taking a nothing. What is that doing for you? It's doing nothing.
yeah, and like the fact that you if you're playing a tank and you know what you're doing, you should not be running into MP problems very often. So it's just not a very valid piece to have when there are just better options.
For a lot of red mage enthusiasts still use the static, right? But no,
You-
not static, hollow.
Hollow for the
spell.
sword enhancement. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I can see that. If you're doing like a 0 damage and spell strat or something like that.
There is only 2 earrings in the game that give end spell plus, and one of them is from Moblin Mazemongers, so
what's the percent increase on those?
I think it's a flat 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have no idea
I
if
think
it's
that's also a diminishing return, but I could be wrong. I'm not a red mage.
yeah. Cool. I think that
All in
kind of
all, I would
covers it.
say magnetic is the best.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Magnetic actually has quite a few uses still. outside of everything else, which was kind of niche a long time ago and has completely or nearly completely fallen off these days.
Even if you ignore the conserve MP, having that much surd in that spot is really nice. Just
Yeah.
like the less armor you have to wear for your surd, so you can keep your DT capped in a surd set, is really ideal.
Yep, definitely. Okay, so moving on, because I know you didn't want to skip anything. We have Chains
yeah,
of
Raphia.
Hermathia. So let me
Let's go.
pull that up. Oh gosh, where's there's the missions.
Dude, I remember getting my Rajas
Your
ring
Rajas?
for the first time and was like, holy crap, this is
Unironically,
crazy.
that ring is still good today.
Yeah.
It's not like meta, but if you're
Yeah, but I mean, when you're leveling up, if you do COP, you're following
anything else
ROV.
for a long time.
Yeah. You're following ROV, you do COP and stuff, like that's going to be a really good ring for you for a long time, for sure.
Yep. Unless you just drop a lot of money and buy like a Kyrek ring.
Yeah.
That's like the direct comparison, right? Kyrek to Rajas. That or the one that gives enmity, what's it called? 1 double attack and 5 store TP.
Oh, I can't remember.
You know what I'm talking about though, right?
That you can buy?
No.
Oh.
From Asura.
Oh, like Petrov or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think those are like the direct comparisons.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And aside from that, like I don't think like the other ones, Satva, it's got HP and enmity. Like there's other enmity options that you have. That's not going to be really competitive or anything. And then the enmity minus with mind, like those kind of pale in comparison. Rajas is probably your best bet.
The Tamas was like barely good back then, even at 75. The Satva was quite nice at 75, but has since been eclipsed by almost every other enmity option in the ring slot. It's a kind of a shame that the Satva doesn't give like knockback or something unique to it.
Oh yeah. These rings
I
are kind
think
of funny because they're like, I think that they intended for them to be like, because like with the scaling stats and stuff, which is the first time they ever did anything like that, where like,
Yeah.
depending on your level, it has a different number of stats. It's meant to like be a huge boost to your lower level. You know, you did it at level 75, but you can jump on your level 30 warrior and you've got store TP +5 and strength +2, 3 or something at that point, you know? That was the bigger boon.
I really appreciate these rings. They're super cool. Back in the day, they were amazing. At level 30, you put them on and like you just never take it off.
Yeah.
Nowadays, these are, in my mind, the prime candidate for a +1 from something.
Oh yeah. Ooh, that'd be cool.
Like +1ing these and having like something valuable would be amazing.
Yeah, wasn't there?
The like bar in Upper Juno.
Yeah, there was a lot of
Oh.
speculation about these being upgraded. I think around the time TVR was being teased, and people talked about that or just like upgrading them to 99 and all that fun stuff. I know Dex, you were saying that you wish the Satva had like knockback or something on it. But I don't think was knockback really a thing that we were dealing with a lot at 75. I don't recall that
I mean,
being too much
it was
of an
there, but it wasn't like the content wasn't so fast paced that a knockback like
Yeah.
affected your.
Right. I was gonna say, like, I didn't remember it too much. It's definitely not like these days with like Ammonon or Lilith knocking you
Well, the
halfway
reason
across
I
the
frame
fucking
it is
screen.
because I want these to be relevant now, not as they were.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. Do you guys?
These would be amazing +1s if they could just like incorporate something unique to them. I love the scaling stat bar. It kind of reminds me of what they did with the new earring, the Hoxney.
Oh
Right.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think you would want more of that if that was possible, like the scaling stats? And what did you want to base it off of? Well, do you think it should say based on what?
Additional to whatever the item is. So if the Rahas and Satva and Tamas continued to scale, they could scale. If they came out from Limbus, they could scale based on certain values, like however many points you've unlocked. I know that's not.
Yeah, I was
exactly
good.
what
That's what I was gonna say is Limbus earrings or Limbus rings that scale off of how many million your cap is. You know, like if you've got
not
a
million, but
1 million cap or a 2 million. No, it's
Yeah.
millions. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. No, it's definitely millions. If
starts
you have 1 million, you get
10.
you get negative 10 stats for
Yeah,
everything.
exactly.
If you
Yeah.
only unlocked 1 million points.
that's just the first thing that came to mind because that's current. But that's not a satisfying answer for everyone. But like, it's a thing that would incentivize people to do it more. You
Mhm.
get like tiny boosts in their ring that they're already wearing, right?
Yeah.
Stuff like
you
that.
get 1 stat for every 150 hours you spend in Limbus.
Well, realistically, the way it's been presented to us, we're going to be doing that anyway. So if I'm going to get a stat
Yeah.
too, then awesome.
Well, you do. You get the 1 accuracy.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
base.
Okay, so I know we were discussing COP, so I would be remiss if we didn't also talk about the
The ones
old
we got
Limbus
tonight?
stuff. No, the old Limbus stuff. The
Oh.
brutal earring, loquacious, that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah,
And
those are
and I
huge. Those
yeah.
are really good.
You know what I'm really disappointed about is the fact that Flawless Ribbon wasn't recreated with
Mm.
the updated Limbus stuff. I was actually hoping that this stuff was going to be getting a +1 instead of the materials that we did get or the accessories.
I do
that we
think
did.
it is a missed opportunity to not just +1 all those items.
Yeah,
Straight up.
it does seem like it does seem like
That was
a
like
weird
playing-
choice to make new stuff and the back pieces are mediocre at best, and instead of taking the stuff that already exists and increasing it. Because there's some unique, cool things on here. Flawless Ribbon
It's
is
like
awesome.
the boxer's mantle was super cool back in the day as a defensive item.
Yeah.
You could make it like 40 or 50 skill, and it would still be like only okay.
Mhm. What do any of these pieces are any of these pieces still used?
Brutal is still fine. Like you could wear that and be fine. Loquacious is still used for fast cast.
Yep.
I mean, Brutal was recommended for a lot of different sets, like up until fairly recently, just because it's like it's a pretty significant amount of double attack. But Loquacious still need it for fast cast most time.
Right.
Agree. And none of the other stuff is like especially used.
Just as an aside, like completely off topic. I joined a Limbus run while we're doing this, like with real people.
Yeah.
And it was so fucking hard to do Limbus while reading emails. But to Heghmoh's earlier point, I've been opening the same chests in a row, and
Yeah.
I'm significantly more often getting multiple 5Ks per week.
Yeah. I don't
doing
know.
that.
Have you tried the mechanic? Because Fujito said that if you change
Mechanics as they've laid it out to us is incorrect or missing some context.
No, I think you're wrong and that you should try the mechanic.
Well, it's not my game, it's his.
Yeah.
Sorry. I had to bring that up because I was just like, we just finished the run and I was struggling to read those emails. And I was like, oh, I'm a floor behind now. Fuck.
Cool.
I
let me pull up.
I've been doing this, and I've gotten to single shard chests since we started, so that's cool.
So Limbus, where do you look up old Limbus nowadays?
Under Sigkira.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't think there's anything really else worth talking
Yeah.
about that. It's all pretty niche. Even back
I
then.
do think, Loquacious is still worth having in everyone's inventory.
Yeah.
It's like a good fast cast spot. That plus
anything good from
Go ahead.
Never mind. Go ahead.
I was gonna say Loquacious is on par with the Enchanter's earring, and I think those are the best
Yeah.
two. But realistically, you could just never get a Loquacious and have an Ideolation instead. It's almost as good, but it's got better stats on it.
Yeah, the only thing
Yeah.
better that I know of is Malignance, but that's
Yeah.
limited on jobs.
But that's limited, yeah. Malignance is amazing.
Oh, hell yeah.
What were you
Okay.
gonna say, Heg?
Nothing.
Oh. Uh-oh.
It's nothing. It's fine.
All right, let's go ahead and move on. Wings of the Goddess is tough because you only have one to choose from, but there's
No.
I guess we can also go over the Kate Sith rewards. But
No, you're missing something.
Oh, we missed treasures.
oh, treasures. What
Well,
am I missing?
the Wings of the Goddess, well, we did skip treasures, but Wings of the Goddess has there's the main story, and then there's the Three Nations stories, and the Three Nations end with a final BCNM that gives a ring.
What?
Okay.
The Excelsis ring, the Griffin ring, and the Zodiac ring.
Oh, I've never
Yes.
never gotten those before.
Um,
Those don't count. So anyway, Moonshade ring.
Well, Moonshade is probably the best expansion reward, bar none.
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah.
better than the TVR reward.
That's crazy.
Moonshade's great. Yeah, Moonshade is fantastic. I think that's one I would love a +1 on. I think it's time to give us an upgrade of Moonshade. Make it 500.
TP bonus plus 2,500.
Oh fuck.
Realistically, everyone does CP bonus plus 250. It's just such a powerful thing, and the game is scaled so far into weapon skilling. But a lot of these things on the earring are very good that aren't the TV bonus. Maximizes magic accuracy plus 3% is basically 3% of the time you'll get an elemental seal for free. That's really potent. 3 quick cast is potent. The all stats 5 has been antiquated. There's better things like Hardy earring is free. Counter is really antiquated. Latent refresh is antiquated. Regain is not so antiquated. There isn't enough regain options in the game, so it's nice to see more of those. And then the grants damage bonus based on TP plus 5% is super cool. I wish more things did this. I wish it wasn't unique just to this one earring. Like white hit builds are like really cool and underutilized.
Oh yeah.
So if more things had this, it would be cool to get a bunch of to stack it up to a certain degree. And you got your Prime or your Empyrean Aftermath doing a big chunk of damage plus critting plus this. It could all, hitting 20, 30 white hits.
I have wanted to make respec to that earring just to do a ridiculous prime additional damage or Empyrean Aftermath silly build.
There's
Because
a
you
couple
can do
where that's super valuable too.
You can do a 30k plus auto attack under the right circumstances on Warrior, for example, already. So are we talking a 1 in a million 60k plus auto attack round? That's crazy.
Critting jobs are Monk and Ranger, aren't they? I mean, Warrior does great crits too, don't get me wrong.
Yeah. Well, the thing about Warrior with the multi-damage is that War's Empyrean armor effect is double attacks occasionally do double damage. So you can do a triple double at that point.
Plus the tech pad its head, which does that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds fun. And what a time to be discussing that during the Velk ambuscade, right?
Yeah. True. Yeah.
But yeah, realistically, every human being on Earth should make a Moonshade and make it 250 TV bonus. Even if you don't play this game, if you're a human being, you should make.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I actually made my girlfriend make one of these for that reason.
Oh, damn.
In real life, that'd be sick,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah, exactly.
How's her TP bonus looking?
Not great.
Can you tell IRL or
Yeah.
It's her doing a lot more damage.
She hits me harder now, so it's not ideal.
Do you want to segue this into what happened this week or this
No, I don't.
Okay.
So what were those rings that you were talking about? Excessus?
You have to look into Nation Quest 12?
Is this Bonds of Mithril? No.
Bonds of Mithril, Face of the Future, and at Journey's End.
Okay.
They're unique, but they're not. One of them was good, and the others have kind of fallen off.
Which one was good?
The Zodiac.
Zodiac. Let's see.
Zodiac.
Depending on day enhances elemental magic.
Yep, it's 3% bonus damage based on the Vanadil day if your elemental magic is aligned to it. It's kind of like
that's
the it's kind of like the sash, the obi.
It's interesting.
It's good, but in modern setting, that stat isn't potent enough to matter.
Right.
I think it works for cures too. It's kind of like that staff in Chateauguin.
Nice.
Yeah.
Or no, does it not work? I think it's elemental only. Actually, I'm tripping because it says enhances elemental magic. Yeah, that's right.
Well, is there anything else you want to discuss as far as the?
No, the
accessory
Excelsis is Drain and Asper. That's not good anymore. The Griffin ring for a long time was one of the best tank rings because when you get enough tank stats, then the best thing to do is to remove the enemy crit rate. But
Right.
there's just better options. I know there's some rings and stuff that paladins use now that remove enemy crit rate that just have better stats than the Griffin ring.
Yeah.
Again, these are a great option of things for Square Enix to go back and say, +1, go chase this thing now.
Yeah, it would be. I feel like it would be relatively easy to implement stuff like this, but they're just kind of like leaving them on the ground. I think we're also talking about this a lot more and what they could do with this because we just had Prime for Adventure and we're all salty about.
Yes, exactly.
Well, like think of it this way: they're adding they've gone on record saying they're adding high tier mission battles for the 3 side stories, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's a stretch to say that they can then in 2027 add 3 more high tiers that were basically Bonds of Mithril, Face the Future, that kind of deal, and then just have a
High tier
material
versions
that
of
drops
those like
in
Beastman
HQ them.
leader kings from the past stuff. Yeah. And that'd be
That would
really,
be
and like
cool.
that's again, like we've talked about that there's so many opportunities. There's so much game that has been left behind. And the worst way to implement that is to make us do random tasks for a menial reward, aka Vanabout. And the best way to like take advantage of it would be to like do an HTMB version of some of those fights that we used to do and like have, you know what I mean? Like that would be a great way of making us experience or giving us the opportunity to experience some of these forgotten things in the game. But
So, for the spirit of the email request we got, the question was positing if there's like unique or niche things that the old rings and old scenario
yeah,
rewards did. And so far it's been like this has been left behind, or this is
yes,
niche good, or this is like okay for leveling up, but then it falls off.
yeah,
And sad to say that there isn't like a unique build item that the closest we can get to that is the like white hit or the max magic accuracy on the earring. But I can't in
right,
good conscience recommend someone do that over TP bonus.
right.
Yeah.
Now that we're through all those, I think this is the meat and potatoes, Seekers and Rhapsodies.
Well, we gotta backtrack and we gotta do treasures because
Treasures.
Dex would be upset with me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
They're
Thank
gonna
you,
do
thank
that.
you.
Then yeah, I gotta say, when I came back to the game and I started a new character, I think I just did not pick a ring for treasures because I was like, I don't need main inventory down.
And
Yeah,
did you do these at 75 or no?
yeah. Well, yeah, I did.
Do you
Took
remember
me a
what you
while to
used?
think about it.
Because I made a Jalzin's ring.
I think, oh god, I made the DD one. I can't remember.
Yeah, I made the accuracy attack one.
Yeah,
Ulthalam?
Which like yeah, with
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
at the time, like 75 era, having 4 accuracy, like that was a piece of gear. You know what I mean? So like that was pretty huge. But
So To me, the biggest criticism of these rings is why the fuck did they have the assault stipulation? Like, they'd be great items.
Yeah,
just
because
that.
they wanted. I think they wanted assaults to be the thing
More
did.
more than
You know what I
more than
mean?
they are now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if anything, it should have said salvage, not assault,
Mm.
Yeah, I don't
right?
know. I think they wanted assaults to be the thing that you could go do where you got points and you got some XP on the side
Yeah.
and you got rewards and did your mythics and like all sorts of stuff that people were doing constantly. I remember doing a lot of assaults trying to get the Aurum armor. That
Yeah.
the pieces that were associated with assaults and not the ZNMs. But I remember doing that a lot. And they were fun back in 75. But not fun enough to dedicate story-related rings to.
Yeah, I think that was a poor choice because if you take that tag off of it, then at 75, these were quite hefty pieces of gear, like a refresh ring. That's
Yeah.
incredible. Snapshot, that's unheard of at that era.
Right.
Um,
Yeah. To me, these were like COP rings light.
Mhm.
Like COP
Yeah,
rings
compared to
done.
the COP rings, like, yeah. Well, especially because this was immediately following COP rings, like this being the reward when you got Rajas previously was like, thanks. Yeah, it's like, okay.
Yeah, like really? You just
I
made
guess,
like
like,
all this cool stuff?
Yeah, they were both.
my
It's still
understanding was
usable
that,
for both, but
magic accuracy was really hard to come by back then, and
yeah.
having 4 on a ring was, like, incredible, so that was the clear winner.
Yeah.
I'd love to see these retrained. You know, honestly, as stupid as this sounds, and this is gonna sound really stupid, um, I want to see these things retrained, not because, like, I have an attachment to them, but because they have a unique model that they never repeat.
Oh, like into
Yeah,
the
yeah.
icon, you mean?
The
Mhm.
icon itself, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They did look interesting for sure.
Like, almost all the scenario awards have some really unique icon that's easily discernible as, "Oh,
Yeah.
that's that thing." And, I don't know. I'm just sick of seeing the same old icons in my character viewer all the time.
Yeah, that's pretty fair. Just style lock your equip viewer. That way you don't actually see what you're.
There you go.
Uh,
There you go.
cool. Are we good to move on to Adeline?
Yeah, Adeline has, like,
Oh, yeah.
probably the most impactful list of things.
Yeah, definitely.
This is probably the keystone of the question itself, like, these are the reasons why the question was posed.
Yeah. What do you
They're
guys?
all good.
Yeah, we could just go down the list, starting with the Adeline ring, which is accuracy, attack, ranged accuracy, range attack, magic accuracy, and magic attack.
I take it back. I said they're all good. They're not all good.
There's I don't know, there's some interesting stats on here. Like this isn't that I
This
want
is an
more
etching
from it.
stone on the ring.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually a really good comparison. Yeah. Okay, never mind. I changed my mind. It's not good.
I think this is the weakest one.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm, like, skimming them right now, and I still feel that way.
Okay.
Yeah, and, like, if those stats were pumped up significantly, it'd be intriguing, like, like, if that was your enough magic accuracy on there to make it worthwhile for absorb TPs and stuff like that as an all jobs ring, but,
Well, why
uh
couldn't they just have made it 15 across the board? That would've been cool.
Yeah. No, it's a really good point when you put that up against like other stats like Gil Finder +1 on the next ring. It's really
Yeah.
hard to justify.
Bro, I'm rich, bitch.
Yeah,
Deal Finder Plus.
the Gorny ring, steel.
Anybody ever
Yeah.
tested? Yeah, what does Gorny really do for, like, Steel Plus and Mug Plus and that kinda stuff?
Steel Plus is quantifiable.
Yeah?
I made a steel set for my thief when the, impish boxes got added to the game.
Yeah.
I stole that box significantly faster than my mules who did not have the steel gem.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Would I invest a reward ring into that? No.
Yeah.
People who get the Gorny ring get it for the treasure hunter. And as time has gone on, more and more things keep coming out with
Yeah.
treasure hunter on it, so there's no need for this, especially when you can, like, get free dark matter 6 times a day, you're gonna get treasure hunter gear. No need for that.
And
Yeah.
I don't even know how much you need treasure hunter gear
You
from
don't.
dark matter augments, but
You don't need
Right.
treasure hunter gear at all, really.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think they're like. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say you can pretty much get away without it. Like, if you really want it, you can pretty easily get it with Volt or Dark Matter or
Yeah.
Hoxney Ring. If you like, there's so many options for treasure hunter now.
We joked, but like the first ring is the worst ring, and this is the second worst ring, and the next one is the third worst. So the Haverton ring is 20 ranged accuracy, 10 ninjutsu skill, 6 snapshot, and 5 dual wield.
Dude, ninja ring. This is
Yeah, I was
for-
gonna say, hear me out though. Like, you could drop your Reiki Yotai and Yabani and do Supanamiri and Haverton Ring. Oh, it's dual
Does
of
that
5. I
range
thought it was 6.
Does,
Damn it, never mind. It's fucked.
yeah,
Never mind.
does Dokken benefit from range accuracy?
Yes.
It does, yeah.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Does it benefit from snapshot? No.
Oh, what would snapshot give would for no, that wouldn't affect ninja at all.
Range attacking. If you're a ninja and you want to consume your shuriken,
And you throw your shurikens.
yeah, throw it
Yeah.
manually.
Dude, oh yeah, that's true. Ninja actually has too much dual wield, so any dual wield on gear is actually bad for them. That's right. Yeah.
Hear me out. You can wear the Gokutai, which is the ambuscade weapon like the Naegling, but for ninja.
Yeah.
And that gives
get
you
the regen.
base
Yeah.
or dual wield value.
Has anybody tried TPing a ninja with slow gear on with dual wield to see if it balances out? That might be the way to go.
What the
Yeah.
fuck? Maybe if there was, you know what? There is not enough gear in the game, like the Sorota stuff. They tried to implement some gear that was like cool upside with a downside. There's not enough stuff in the game that has like a big downside but an amazing upside at the same time. I wish they leaned more into that, like made something like slow plus 50, but I'm God mode. You know what I mean? Like something stupid.
I would think it would be hilarious if they gave ninja like damage plus 100%, but if you get hit, you also take 100% more damage.
Oh hell yeah.
And that would be hilarious.
Just complete glass cannon.
Mega Wari
Yeah.
mitigate that?
Oh, that'd be amazing. Yeah.
Dude, what if ninja got like throwing damage plus like 1,000%, but your damage taken is plus 1,000%, and you have to, but you also have movement speed plus 25. So like you have to run around throwing shurikens and not getting hit by anything.
I like how off the rails this conversation has gone. Just like not even completely related.
In an imaginary world where you could get every ring if you just grinded it, like you did you have to do the whole story over again or something stupid.
Oh shit.
I would get a Haverton ring for the snapshot.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I think the only other snapshot ring in the game is the one from Shinryu, the crepuscular ring.
Yeah.
Not
Janus
counting
Henry.
the Jalzin's fucking assault only.
Yeah. Moving on to the Janus ring, unless you guys have anything else for Haverton.
No, I'm
No.
kind of spitballing. The Janison is amazing cure potency too, right? But
Yeah, I mean, it's
kind of hard to justify it.
it's kind of insignificant, like on White Mage, because you have options for cure potency too. Like it's 5% on the ring slot. It's not gonna really break it. This would make a bigger impact on Scholar. Yeah, or like a Bard sub White Mage or something. Paladin probably don't want the enmity minus, and probably
true.
plus you have Majesty working for you for cure potency. So
Majesty's cure potency too.
I don't know if it's cure potency too, but like Paladin is I'm very rarely super concerned with cure potency just because
Which is
like,
crazy.
yeah.
Majesty's so busted.
Yeah, it's super strong.
When you think of it that way, Majesty's 25% cure potency too, and this thing gives 5%. This thing's trash.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is like a 1/5 of a Majesty. So fuck it, throw it in the trash. And you get enmity down. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of this one, but
Yeah, this one's pretty bad too. The first 4 were pretty bad. Now we
I
get
like
to
how
the meat and potatoes.
I like how like the further we go on this list. Well, actually, the first
Actually,
five
all
aren't
these are
bad.
just
Yeah.
The thing about it is, right, like, their issue isn't that they're bad, their issue is that you can only pick one. When in the conversation of, "I can only pick one," then yeah, then they're bad. If this was a ring you could just get on the auction house, you would own it. It would be amazing. For
So
all of them, except for maybe the Adulan one.
yeah, so the
I,
Corral ring.
now we're getting into
Sortie.
good territory.
I don't
It's
really
really
know how to
good.
pronounce this. It was.
Victorian.
I think this was a
Yeah.
great. I think this is a great new player ring for people that
Okay.
don't
I mean,
have.
Bane 5 is good.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Regain 5 weapon skill damage +3 was hard to come by. Especially like. Well, go ahead.
I just realized, should we be talking about this in the context that these rings have a +1 as well?
I mean, they're kind of the same at +1.
I think
originally done.
yeah, I think everything that we say for these ones stands true for the
It hasn't
for
changed.
the most part. Yeah.
The +1 carry goes to weapon skill 4, for example. That's why I kind of brought it up.
Yeah. And it's nice, but I don't think it changes too much. I think this is a great Yeah, I think this is a great new player choice if you like have limited gear options or you don't want to like if you don't go for a EPAM ring
Yeah.
or if you even if you have an EPAM ring and you don't have like something better to use in your other slot and you don't have another a lot of weapon skill damage from gear, I think this is a pretty solid option.
I think it's what I would recommend most new players get as their first ring, and then they'll drop it and get a new one later down the road.
I mean, I think I picked this up even when I created,
Yeah.
my current character. I grabbed it just to have some weapon skill damage to carry me through a little bit.
People can't afford a Sortie ring or an EPAM ring,
Yeah.
or they haven't done TVR yet, or they haven't done Odyssey to get that weapon skill damage ring. So it's just a great all around ring. I do know a few people that keep it for the regain because that's such a unique stat.
Yeah.
Um,
And a little idle regain set, and you just run around building TP is nice.
Yeah.
for like Ammonon and that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not so significant that it's worth like making that sacrifice if you really.
Yeah.
It's is one of the better rings from this list of options, but there are better, I would say.
Yeah,
Nice.
I agree. It's a solid choice for some of the newer players. Orville is the best ring on this list, actually.
This is
You
the
think
best ring on this list, asterisk.
Yeah. This is the best ring. This is the best ring on this list if you craft every day and you don't need genetic ring, for sure.
Like if you're a crafter, you can't really not get this ring problematically.
Yeah, I actually dropped my genetic ring and got this for making spheres.
Really?
For the shield.
Wow.
And well, you got to understand, crafting spheres for the shield is a terrible fucking rate. Like you break the cards so often, it's
Yeah.
honestly ridiculous, especially for how painful it is to get cards. Any and all like success rate that you can get is absolutely necessary.
Yeah. Okay.
This ring is so good for crafting. And I really appreciate that they threw crafters a bone for once. But it's a problem that it's a scenario reward
That's
because
the only way to get it is
right.
competing with another. Yeah.
like you shouldn't have to make a choice between I play the game and I craft. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, this ring is so good that some people will drop this ring to go do content and then pick it back up when they go craft. Like multiple times a week. It's that
You're not wrong. I'm serious. I've seen so many people that do it.
Yeah.
It's just such a good
it's
ring.
actually stupid.
So hopefully you don't craft on your main and you craft on an alt.
So the real moral of the story here is don't craft and
Don't worry about
you have to-
crafting. and you don't have
Yeah,
to worry about it.
you won't have to worry about it for sure.
Just buy something,
Um,
silly goober.
Yeah, just hope that other people craft for you, and then you'll be fine.
Back.
I'll be honest, I don't even know what this next ring is. Singing skill.
Singing skill, blue magic skill, geomancy skill, and refresh.
What a random collection of skill plus.
This might be the worst ring on the list.
Yeah.
It's just bizarre to me that it's singing and not like wind and
Yeah.
horn or whatever, wind and string.
Right. Yeah. Is there any use for this? Because
When I was a new player, I was like, blue magic skill. Oh my god!
yeah.
But
Nice.
Does it help you learn
That's-
spells? Could you use it for that?
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
Technically,
no,
that's
when I was a new player, I already had all my spells because
Oh,
I'm
right. Well, of course. Right.
that's like Dex. I was born with all the skills already, so no.
well, unironically, I was a blue mage main at 75. The day I came back to the game, the first thing I looked up wasn't like what content there was. It's like, what spells can I learn? And before I transferred to Asura, I went and learned my spells. So I had every spell already. But that's just me. That's a me problem.
Yeah.
What does blue magic skill do for blue mage outside of like raising your cap to learn them easier? There's only a couple spells that get a minor boost.
Yeah.
Like this ring is
Yeah.
not worth it. This ultimately is a refresh ring.
And it's refresh 1, right?
It's 2 running part 2.
Oh, 2. Okay.
Oh, what's 1?
Cool.
So
So
not worth it.
yeah, I would agree. I can't think of
just
this
get the-
scenario.
Get a stikini.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, tell us why Genetic Ring is the best ring, boys.
This is the best ring on the list. Orvale doesn't count because I'm not a
Mhm.
crafter. So this is the best ring on the list because I don't have to sacrifice my armor to wear some shitty low evasion, low defense piece of armor that has movement speed on it. And simultaneously, while I'm running around and things are aggroing me, I don't get gravity or bound a percentage of the time, and I get
Yep.
my face destroyed. And it's a beautiful face.
And once if you have a Genetic Ring and you're like all jobs, you just have it, this is your default equipment set that you run around in, like
Inventory 5.
inventory plus, but also just like the quality of life of running faster, 18% faster all the time is the best.
Yeah, some jobs still to this day do not have 18.
Yeah.
A lot of jobs, actually. If you take this ring out of the equation.
Mhm. So yeah,
Um,
definitely worth it.
Jobs that are on like Hermes sandals, samurai. I think ninja too, unless it's dusk till dawn. So if like you're even more incentivized to get this ring if you play like samurai, because then
Yeah.
your only other option is Danzo Sunate. It's like no, thank you.
Yeah, Warrior
And
also is doesn't have another option besides her.
I was like for the longest time, I was definitely the type of person like I had Kari ring or I picked up Weatherspoon at one point because I was like, oh, I'm gonna use it for my True Flight. And I was like, what? Yeah, sure, 18% movement speed, but like it's fine. Like I'll figure out like most of the time when I have to run fast, I'm with a party, so I'll just, put up bolters and Chocobo and Mazurka. And I know that if there's anybody watching that doesn't have a Genetic Ring already, you guys you're probably thinking what I thought then, where it's like, what's the point? Like this doesn't help me in combat, this doesn't make me stronger, and you're wrong. Like, just get it, and you'll realize. You'll realize that it is actually the best ring.
The problem
lot of-
is the real problem is with the content as it stands right now. You are directly rewarded for running faster,
Yes.
and you are directly punished for not running faster. So if you're a DD like Warrior or Sam and you're trying to do Sortie and you only have 12% movement speed, you will hold up the rest of your group just by
Yeah.
not having this ring. It honestly is super punishing to not have it, and that's why it feels really, really bad to not have this option.
All the content is a race. It's all timed. Be part of the race. Win the race.
Yeah.
There's a lot of scenarios where I have a macro to equip and unequip my Genetic Ring because
Yeah.
it's only one slot. Accessories are very low impact compared to armor. Like a lot less stats come from your accessories than your armor. I have
Oh, right.
a macro
Yeah.
to switch it on and off. There's enemies that you'll fight where you have to gravity them or something and they run too fast and you're chasing after them. having the ability to switch into 18% movement speed while TPing on it, and continue TPing on it rather than being too
Nice.
slow, it makes a big difference.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I'm only bringing that up because you brought in the combat aspect of it. This does improve your combat.
Yeah, if you're
Even
fighting like Aita or
in a
something.
direct sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've seen failed gravities on Aita, and half the party can't hit him because they're chasing him and not swinging, and I'm swinging along doing just fine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
But
I actually like legitimately feel that this ring is 100% necessary for most scenarios. If you're a heavy DD and you're trying to do content that requires running and is timed.
yeah.
Unfortunately,
Well, we're talking about movement speed. I think the part of the question as well was
I was just about to bring that up.
Jumbo tender.
So I'm gonna bring up the exact quote. It says, and I'm sure there are pros and cons to using Schnetic Ring for movement speed that I haven't thought of. Like, will someone with 12% movement speed not reach the cap, even with bolters, and Mazurka Jig Fleetwind, and get left behind by the rest of the 18% people in party? Does Jumbo Cheer Tender matter in 2026? So, Jumbo Tender is only 2%, even though it says 3%, I believe.
Yeah. It's pretty small.
Yeah.
Typically with a bolters roll from a Rostam Corsair or Rostam 8, even if you roll like a 2 or something insignificant,
Yeah.
leave it at that. If you have a Schnetic Ring on, you're going to be at the cap, 60%.
Yeah.
But without the Schnetic Ring, like if you have a 12%, you will be slower. So the answer to the guys to Milo's question is yes. You will notice a difference if you have that difference in cap. But like if you add in Mazurka or Jig or whatever,
Right.
that will make up the difference easily. Like you won't need I don't even think you need a ring or any movement speed gear at all with the two of them stacked.
Yeah.
Does Jumbo Cheer Tender matter in 2026? Not really. There are very niche scenarios where like I've seen a party member lock their weapon with some add-on so that they can't, gear swap it. And they've rolled with just the Corsair neck. So they have +7 potency. And they left it on a point where a lot of people got 58% movement speed instead of 60. And that Jumbo Tender put you exactly
the
where.
difference. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But like practically, no, that doesn't matter at all. Like, are you going to notice the second you lost by getting to A to B at 58% versus 60? You're not going to notice. So I wouldn't even worry about that.
Cool. So, in other words, if you don't have a Schnetic Ring, get a Schnetic Ring. Or an over
Like
or an over.
Orvale is the best ring asterisk,
Pure
and then
crafter, yeah.
Schnetic is the best ring.
Nice.
Cool.
Thoron Dot was my first ring. I had Thoron Dot for a long time.
Really?
Because I was playing Puppet Master a lot when I first finished Adeline. And
So
it's good.
deeply,
If this is the same as the Naomi question, right? Path to Naomi. Is there a case for it? Sure, absolutely.
so
If
my
that's
question
the
is,
only thing you're doing, what I mean? If you only play Puppet Master, you're probably solo, so like the movement speed there doesn't really matter that much anyway.
were you just like blacking out? Like, are you redacting the accuracy, range accuracy attack, and range attack on this ring?
No, I mean
Like,
that's huge.
Is it really?
I mean, it doesn't have magic accuracy, which would be the biggest thing, but like having all the accuracy is a pretty big buff. I mean, anything that is, especially in a ring, that affects your pet stats if you're a solo Puppet Master player is a massive thing.
Do you know how hard it is? You know how hard it is to find gear that has pet attack on it?
Yeah, exactly.
So
It's
as
always accuracy.
as a non-pet player, we have so much accuracy and attack that like I see that set on the pet stuff, and I'm like, that's nothing. Who cares? But then I see 3 DT and 3 haste. I'm like, I guess that's pretty good because pet DT is hard to come by. I know that at least.
Yeah, pet attack is
Yeah.
hard to come by too. pet stats outside of
Accuracy's nice, but like
yeah.
it's nice to have, but it's like I don't think you'll notice very often that it's missing. But I think the bigger thing is the haste, the DT, and the attack are all always welcome.
And the ranged attack and accuracy is strictly for pup, right? Like the other pet jobs don't benefit from that.
I can't think of a ranged attack or ranged accuracy
From like
scenario.
strict summon.
Yeah.
I think one of the summons has a ranged, but I'm not sure.
But yeah, I mean, I think
to
like
test that.
if you only played Puppet Master, then I would probably be like, yeah, it might be worth getting. Like if you only play, a pet job or something like that, and
There are a lot of
But-
players out there.
yeah.
who- They're
And
the
same thing
puppet
with like,
enthusiasts, and they go in solo.
maybe if you only do solo stuff with Pump, then absolutely like Path D Naomi would be really cool. I would like when in the realm of like now we have Limbus armor with pet stats on it, maybe less so, but yeah, I don't know.
It just seems like a very difficult path to walk
Yeah.
to isolate yourself from the community to just be like the pet guy.
I mean, that's
Have you interacted with the community that often? Like
Use- that is the origin story of the Beastmaster. Everybody's most astounded. Anybody like you talk to a 75 era Beastmaster or people that think about Beastmaster, and they're always like, "Oh man, I just remember how great it was to be by myself out in Crawler's Nest, just soloing mobs." And like that's the origin story. That's why people play these jobs for a lot of reasons. So yeah, I mean,
But that like
Yeah.
tower fantasy of like
the isolation and just doing stuff solo, not relying on.
I'm
the-
playing a numbered Final Fantasy game.
Yeah.
I'm not playing an MMO. Fuck all those other people. They're NPCs.
That's a really good point now that you bring that up. Other people are NPCs and you should treat them as such. Anyway.
That's what I've been doing to you all my life.
I know. So Volcane Ring is the next
This
one we got
this
up
was
on
brought
this
up in the
list.
email as well concerning the knockback.
The knockback is nice, and we need more knockback here.
Yeah, this ring is good for tank, but like you need so much knockback. It's usually like +4, +6 to prevent specific
Right.
PP moves.
Mhm.
Most people rationally would not sacrifice their good ring slot, like the Schnetic,
Yeah.
for this. They just deal with the
Right.
knockback.
Especially when you have like it don't get me wrong, it feels bad tanking Ammonon in a Sublugar. But sometimes you just have to make those sacrifices if you don't
But
want to get knocked
Correct
out.
me if I'm wrong, but you need the Subligar, the cape, and this for it to work. And if you don't have all three simultaneously, it just doesn't work.
Right. And I honestly think they should add more knockback to gear similarly to how they added DT to gear. Like they just started adding DT to everything. I think they should add like 1 or 2 knockback to
I don't want them to go crazy with it to make it so that like, anchor is something that everybody has all the time. But I do think it's something that should be a choice that, a tank can wear these accessories. They might be a little weaker for it, but now they have the knockback reduction. The sad fact is that there just isn't gear in the game that provides this stat. It's so rare.
Right. They need if they don't want people to use those tools, they need to add it to other pieces.
Yeah. And if there were more accessories and more items in the game that had knockback on them to make it more relevant, then this ring might get chosen more
Yeah.
to complement them, right?
Add 18% movement speed to this ring, or add the knockback to Schnebeck, and now now we're talking. You know what I mean?
Just synergy all these rings into one ring.
Damn,
It's
that'd be dope.
Just those two.
You have to do.
But
You have to.
those two an
You
Orvid.
have to go through. You have to go through Seekers of Adeline missions every time, and it resets your coalition.
I would do that.
It resets your coalitions to 0, and you have to go all the way back to.
Dex of coalitions anyway, because he's a psychopath for fun and for
I will say that like before I was a Schnetic convert, some of my friends that like played Geo only, for example, And they were just going through like the list of like what ring to get, and I picked up Vocane because it was like, oh, it's a pass, it's DT. I'll get bigger cures, like just
Oh,
like
in the era of
so.
pre-murky ring? Like, this
Yeah,
was,
yeah,
this was
pre-murky for
depending
sure.
ring.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I could see that. This
Yeah.
is like depending ring's little brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Like
think
you
this ring
ring.
was
Oh.
more popular before Sortie came out, personally.
Yeah.
But okay.
If you
Cool,
like
Vulcan
kinetic
ring.
ring, take a look at Weatherspoon ring.
So here's the problem that I have. I have a friend of mine who is in my Sortie group, and I forced him to drop his Weatherspoon ring for a Kinetic ring.
Yeah.
Because he plays Red Mage. Mostly because he plays Red Mage, but he also sometimes very occasionally plays Ranger. Not very often.
Yeah.
So
He's pretty bad at it.
do you think Garcia Moore's
So
Seraph blade?
yeah, he just wants a Seraph blade. And now every time I see him, he threatens
with how big his Seraph blade is. Like,
Right,
I feel like people at Seraph blade just want to show you that it does decent damage.
Yeah. And every time I see him, he threatens to drop the Kinetic ring and nuke our Sortie runs and then pick up Weatherspoon.
But I mean, think of it, if he had a stronger Seraph blade, that's like equivalent to being 3% faster in movement speed because he's doing her damage.
That's a really good point.
The phrasing of nuke our Sortie run is just
he wants to ruin my day. And
he's not keeping up. We're done, man. You're at the center.
I'll just warp out, like, honestly. No, I haven't actually done Sortie in like 2 weeks, so it's fine. But
God,
I don't know.
Are you okay?
I haven't done Sortie in a week.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like I think Sunday was the last one I did.
I've had a string of my best sorties in months in this last week.
Yeah, I know. It's because you somehow vampired all of our Sortie notification into
Because Shiraj like runs over to you to tell you.
Yeah. Oh, he tells me every time. And I'm like, oh, did Dex, he goes, anytime something cool, Dex does something cool, Shiraj comes over and he's like, oh, did Dex talk to you about this? And I was like, no, Dex doesn't tell me anything.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
It's like Dex's biggest
So,
Hey, okay, how about
well,
this?
no, but the
You
thing
want me
is,
to tell you my achievements and be like this braggadocious
dude,
dickhead?
I would love to hear it. I would love to hear it. That's cool. But instead, what I get is like usually my communications with Dex and Mith are just through our like group chat in Discord, and it's just Dex and Mith, Mama Dex and Papa Mith just fighting and bickering about stuff like who's sick and not really being sick, and not taking care of the family and all this stuff. Thing is like
I think in our
it's,
communications we meme a bit. We meme.
No, what happens is Dex every now and then posts something that he's excited about, and I just mock him for it. So he's been trained to like not do that stuff. But I guess now that he has safe space, Mama Heghmoh, he can start doing it again.
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure.
No, I mean, look, and I'll say this, I'm 100% honest in that, like, especially if I'm streaming and you come in and you have something to share, like I need any ammunition because there's like not a going on in my head. So I just need anything to read and talk about. Like, so like, just give me anything.
Heghmoh's like, but only when I'm streaming. If you talk to me outside of streaming, like, don't fucking talk to me yet.
Not on a personal level, please. Like,
Myth, he hasn't done that to you. Like I've DM'd Heghmoh. I'm like, you want to talk about this? He's like, I'm gonna stream soon. Save it.
Hell yeah, I love that. But anyway, Weatherspoon ring
5. I rotated all my chests, by the way. Went 1 for 5 on Alabaster Matters. I guess I still don't understand what Fujito was talking about.
Wait, yeah, you must not have done the mechanic if that's the case.
Yeah. So that's why I have a
sorry.
fucking spreadsheet that tells me exactly which chests I've opened in what order. But okay.
Yeah, you know what? Like, I know we're going on a tangent, but like, why the hell do we have to have an external spreadsheet to track this fucking content?
You don't
Why
have
can't you
to.
go to the little orbital and find out what
You know what I do is I'll put a marker in where I finished. So when I finish, I will do at least one more floor so I have that item, so that way I know where I finished.
What does
Yeah.
Sharpie have to do with this?
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Let's get back to Weatherspoon ring. So it's unique because it has light elemental magic attack bonus +10. So similar to the pixie hairpin, but for lights damage. It's really cool if you only use True Flight on Ranger or Seraph Blade on Red Mage. And if you don't use any other weapon skills, then this is the best ring for you. Or and if you also can teleport across the
What about
thing without
Hachikoki?
on you. The Hachikoki's kind of garbage.
Oh, hell yeah. I don't know that.
I don't think it's very. Is there an instance where Tachikoki actually does damage? Does it do okay in Odyssey segments? I feel like
I feel like, yeah.
only with the weather spoon. I feel like it's always Kagero or Jinpu.
Sorry, I just gaslit the shit out of you. That was not right.
Oh no,
Right.
Seraph Strike and yeah, for your sworn set melee white mage for sure. Hell yeah, dude! I can't wait. Yeah, no,
Other light weapon skills because there aren't many.
yeah, no, there's really not. I think the main two are definitely Truth Light and Seraph Blade, but I don't know. It's a cool ring. It does something unique, which like
Yeah.
it has that going for it at least. No one will be able to take away light elemental attack from it until they
It's
make.
essentially a light Archon, right?
Yep. Similar.
Yeah, but
Archon is
double.
aligned element.
Archon ring. Yeah.
but Archon is +5, and this is plus.
Oh wow.
So like, but it's like half of a Pixie Hairpin though, because Pixie Hairpin is +21, isn't it? Excuse me. So I mean, it's good, but like it's not game breaking by any means.
Yeah, and also like I remember when I early on when I created this character, like I was like, I made a paladin first, and then I was working on scholar, and then I, started working on warrior, and then I was like, oh, I'll make ranger, and like, I was thinking back to the glory days, and I was like, I'm gonna make Gastrophates, I'm gonna make ranger, and then I'll be able to do damage in dynamis, and I don't know. Maybe I'm just playing it wrong, but I feel like the like glory days of Gastrophates, like True Flight Ranger. There's just so fewer
yeah.
instances where like it's like game breaking nowadays because everybody else is doing crazy damage. I so I don't know. Like it's not worth sacrificing your other ring options to do slightly better. And even then, like even if you're talking about even assume that True Flight is crazy good, the the light elemental damage plus is like you can get so many other things to boost your damage for that as well nowadays. So I don't know. I think it had its time where it was like this is a meta pick to make for this particular type of gameplay, but nowadays it just doesn't
We're talking like
have the full weight.
2019, 2020, where it was like
Exactly.
really good.
Yeah, for the
You guys gonna learn
play,
me.
no doubt. Yeah.
Well,
yes.
baby. Well, wow. Okay, hear me out. Mr. Baby Blue Mage Dex got this ring first.
Oh,
And,
really?
like,
For like a blue mage spell? Fast cast on the for your blue. That's
they had a
really
little
yeah,
bad
dude.
quick cast.
You
damn.
didn't even get the quick cast ring. That's crazy.
This is the quick cast.
Not even
Is
was
yeah.
there any consideration? Was there any consideration? Did I bet you anything that at this point,
Well, I had
you're like fast cast, quick cast, magic actually huge, and then you went through the list of blue spells to see if any of
I
them
didn't have
were
to go
light
through a list, but
element.
I knew that Magic Hammer was amazing.
Oh,
But-
there you go.
yeah, yeah. I tried Blinding Fulgor with it, and Blinding Fulgor still wasn't as good as like
Damn.
Spectral Flow. So grew it.
Cool. Last one. This actually might be the worst one. Now that we've talked about.
I know a lot of I know a lot of mages
I think we said that on every single read except
a lot of
Casey.
that used to use this sublimation.
The sublimation +1.
That's crazy. I guess
It's literally like there are 3 stats like there's like look through the list and it's like, damage taken -7, cure +5, reduced not like unique stats that aren't on other things. The crafting ring's crazy, movement speed, like all these pet stats, and they're like, I don't know, regen refresh +1, sublimation. I don't like did they run out of ideas? Was this a note and they forgot to finish it? there was gonna be another stat they couldn't decide, and they
They
just
they were like
game.
they were like, guys, we have another story related NPC that we have to name a ring after. What do we do with it?
Oh yeah, they're
Quick,
like, what do we
quick,
do with
quick!
Talk?
Think of something.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I don't know.
You might laugh, but I've seen a lot of mages wear this. It's not good.
I will
and
laugh.
it's not
Yeah,
good.
like yeah, I don't know. If you're a mage, I would not recommend wearing this. I'm sorry. Like I'm assuming the thinking behind it is if you're using a sub scholar and
Yeah.
obviously if the sub job is scholar, you're not gonna have as much sublimation stuff for it, but like there's so many refresh options. If you're burning through your MP on white mage that fast that you need sublimation plus
Yeah.
1 to make it fast.
Well, I guess
But I
like
think
too,
that's
like this is
good.
perhaps like if you didn't have the reforged Empyrean legs yet, it's like in the stage of progression.
Well,
Maybe,
if you're doing like most content these days and you're on white mage, you want sublimation to last longer because you don't want it to be full. Because if you get slept and sublimation is not ticking, then you're gonna have to swap
Yeah.
to your
Right.
assuming you have a prime club or something, you have to swap to that. If that like the sublimation is helpful to have for
Yeah.
white mage.
This is worth saying. All the other +1 variants of rings, got like very minor upgrades, very marginal. The upgrade to this ring is it doubles everything, so it's a 50%.
Oh,
Yeah, it doubles all the garbage.
two sublimation, two reading, two actions.
Yeah.
So, so to your point that if you're curing and running out of MP, then you have other problems. Like, the way I look at it is, new players, won't have all the gear right away,
Yeah.
and it's like a new player trap to be like, I need refresh in everything because they're struggling when they can just be more efficient with their MP with better gear. And that takes time, right? It's something that you have to learn. So like a new player will look at this and see 2 refresh because it's 1 refresh and 1 sublimation. And to
Right.
them, that's like, well, that's just great. But in reality, it doesn't provide you much benefit at all. In fact, it might even hurt you.
Yeah. Cool.
Cool.
Anything to add for Adeline rings?
Should
Do the Ignis directive and +1 them, or you're powered.
I haven't done it. Not gonna lie.
I just did it actually
Powered.
the past last couple
Heghmoh's
weeks.
champion. We'll get on his level.
Finally
man.
did Ignis for the first.
If I first do it, I don't have as much free time as Heghmoh does to do mug.
Don't you want a white border?
And
You know how
What is your, and I think Schnetic gets like 3 more gravity resistors, 2 more, yeah. It's like negligible. But what is your holdup? Like you don't want to do the quest? You don't want to do Mog Garden?
Dude, all my time is being spent in Limbus. I don't have fucking time to do.
But
you want
what is this? What's the thing that you need to do to get a Ignis
I have not done Mog Garden, and I need to do some of the quests, I think.
and the quest, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, it's fine. Like when I wake up one of these days, maybe in the next 10 to 70 years, I'll be like, wow, I should really start doing this master rank stuff and get on that boat. But right now,
Probably
no, I'm good. Thank you.
that was kind of mean to shut me down. Like,
I mean, what's your proposition, Dex?
I was gonna say, like, you're feeling sick and you don't want to talk, just don't put the camera on and do quests.
Dude, if the camera's not on, I'm doing Limbus. Like I don't have the time to like do everything in this game, and that like even lately, like I had a little bit of time yesterday where I could have played, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go sit on the couch and watch some shows that I haven't like caught up on yet because I'm getting kind of burned out from doing content, and
I've got
don't think doing quests is gonna fix that.
That's fair, but I've got bad news for you. According to Fedito, if all of your entertainment isn't derived from Final Fantasy 11, then you're not doing it right. He needs all of it.
That's a really good point, yeah. Well, I mean, I think he has pretty realistic playtime expectations, considering you don't need Rima's.
18 hours is not a whole lot. There's 24 hours a day. Like, he's giving you so much.
Exactly. Well, let's move on to
You don't have to do it all. You know, you can
right.
anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Ravens are
Same.
optional, as are these.
Playing Final Fantasy 11 is optional unless
No, it's
you're like us. Okay,
If I were physically broke, I will die.
let's go first. I didn't realize how few TVR rings there were. I thought there were more. I thought they were more in line with like the
Oh,
Adeline rings.
well, there's 8 of them, right? There's 7.
Yeah. Yeah, but there's like 15 Adeline rings. But
I was gonna make a really stupid comment. I was gonna be like, "How come Rhapsodies doesn't have any good rewards?"
that's a good point. Yeah, no, you mean
Rhapsodies doesn't give you a physical item, but it gives you like
It gives you Rhapsodies.
the
Yeah.
item.
yeah. I can't believe it only gives you 1,000 experience points bonus and access to all the content in the game.
And every single item from all the vendors is 10% of what it's cost.
The it's crazy.
Fucking Rhapsodies sucks, man. No fucking gear.
Yeah, absolutely. Madada's ring, which is the Ins plus 10 magic accuracy plus 20.
on this one.
I think this
That's
ring is
guess
trash.
ring. I think this ring is really good if you only play mages.
Asterisk.
What if what if you're doing you need like you want to really min max your ammon on absorb TP, all jobs, fast cast 10, mac
But-
20?
Stop it.
Just use
Hit the
captures
threshold
roll.
without this easily. No, stop it. You can hit the threshold easily without it. So you only need like 40 something fast cast to get to like 14 seconds, and then it's like 50 something to get to 13 seconds. This doesn't make a difference even on jobs that have piss poor fast cast options like Corsair. You don't need this ring.
So I picked
Realistically-
up what I would do is I would pick up this ring if I was doing Ongo V25. And
Oh, okay.
For the map.
yeah, for the map and the int. I mean there's obviously other rings that also have the same amount of ints on it, but like altogether this is not a bad ring to plug in, like if you're willing to drop your ring and then go pick up a new one, because it's free to do for TVR, which is nice. You just have to wait.
Also like terrifying though, because you have to drop your ring zone so you clear your recycle bin and then go back. And the first time I did it, I was like, "You guys are sure? You're sure?" You know?
Yeah. So like
The grand scheme of things, when you compare this ring to other rings that aren't a scenario reward, like Freak Ring, right? It's very insignificant.
Yeah, I agree.
Also,
Fair enough.
before we move on, this right here, these fucking 7 rings are where we get canceled on the auction house forums.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, because they've been raging about these rings for
Yes.
ages.
This
Yeah.
is like this is a hot button.
This is a hot topic.
It is a very hot topic. Yeah.
Specifically 2 rings later on, but yeah.
What, weapon skill damage and PDL?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Grebu's ring is Shiraj's favorite ring, actually. Which
Actually, Greg was pretty legit.
Hmm?
Yeah.
This is the
I
tag
think it's
ring.
great.
yeah. Actually,
Your white mage that doesn't melee or anything, I think is a good option for them too.
I always thought that because Shiraj liked it, it was trash.
Yeah, just immediately assume Straj is trolling me when he yeah.
Can we take a moment to appreciate that the icon for the rings is the same exact thing with a different band, a color?
It's a different color.
I like that.
Hell yeah. I love that. No, I mean the ring is really good. Magic evasion on the ring is super unique. All status ailment resistances. What?
We just said that the Wotaris ring that gave 1 regen, 1 refresh, or 2 regen, 2 refresh was shit and garbage, and we made
Yeah.
fun of it. Why is this?
But it
ring
doesn't
good?
have Neva and all status ailment
But
resistance.
and hear me out, Dex. It's also double, so it's like a +1 without even having to do the Adeline shit.
Yeah.
So it's pretty strong. This is not a ring that I would recommend people if they're not like
It's
super serious
certainly a
fans,
niche ring.
personally.
But
Yeah.
I do know a lot of high-end tanks like this ring to supplement their sets with a stat, like a boost of Meva and resistance.
Mhm.
On NMs, the all stats resistance is halved. So like if you have 100%, you only get 50% chance to resist, but
Yeah.
50% is quite significant in some fights, especially on NMs. So it's not
Oh, yeah.
scoff.
And Miva plus 20 on a ring is fantastic. Really though, the stats for this are the Miva and the status movement resist.
Yeah.
Not really worried
Miva
about
was
damage on.
rare
Yeah,
as
we
fuck
can-
on like what was the best Miva ring before this? The Purity ring gave 10, and that was like
Yeah.
incredible for a while. And just recently they added the Murky ring, and if you are 30, you get 15 Miva.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is also a little bit like we're excited about the magic evasion and the status element resistance. And I think that like if you're a new player and you haven't experienced how like I think that like those resistance stats, your magic evasion, your magic uh magic defense bonus kind of stuff. Like if you're a new player, you don't realize how powerful those stats are until you've seen the difference in real time. And they are super impactful.
Yeah, it's easy to overlook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until you go from like getting hit by fetters for like 500 to
Exactly.
like 100.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
hard to
So-
understand.
To get ahead of it a little bit, to compare this choice to two weapon skill options is definitely a choice that you have to make. If you play any variety of jobs, it'll be even harder to make this choice. But if you're like a dedicated backline healer or
Yeah.
a dedicated paladin or rune fencer, then this is something that should definitely be on your radar, or at least worth consideration.
I think this is a solid switch too. Like just like we were talking about the Madada's ring, this one even more so is worth switching to if like you're like super serious about tanking V25s or something like that. Like you don't need this to tank V25s, but it's definitely not a bad choice for it.
It could just
You're-
make your
yeah.
experience a little easier for the
Yeah.
short term.
Yeah, if you're a psychopath and you want to tank master trials, this would be super helpful for stuff like that. But yeah.
I think that's specifically why Shiraj hasn't switched up.
Yeah, like I
And
said, if you're a psychopath, that's way better.
Cool. All right. Cornelia.
Probably the most recognizable on the list.
Yeah, can't get wrong.
10 weapon skill damage. We talked about how 3 or 4 was pretty good. 10. Almost 3x.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong.
Yeah. I think that weapon skill damage has diminishing returns though, right? And there is a ton of weapon skill damage gear nowadays. Like you have access to your Naomi, you've got all your AF plus whatever, Imperium plus 3. There's so many pieces that have 10 or 12% or 8% weapon skill damage. If you get to a point where it's not as impactful as it seems, but yes, I think that it can be very strong.
The hot button debate is exactly that minutia
Yeah.
of
Right.
how much it falls off and whether or not that's worth considering. I mean, 10% weapon skill damage when you compare it to like a regal ring is still significant as shit. And that's all encompassing 10% weapon skill damage. You can use that for your leaden salutes, for your magic weapon skills. Like, you'll always be able to use this, even if you're not in a scenario where you're attack capping. You can use this solo. If you're just running around with trust, you can use this.
Right.
So I think this is like the go-to ring. It's the easy choice. It's weaker than other rings in scenarios. And you have to make that personal choice as to how often you will be in those other scenarios versus
Yeah.
how often you'll be in the scenario where I don't need to worry about it.
Yeah. And apparently, is this true that it's a localization issue that has 20
It does have
accuracy
20
actually?
weapon skill or
Damn.
accuracy.
I guess maybe in the next version update we'll see that because they
No, we won't.
tend to do this.
No,
It's
No, it's
only
gonna
been out
take
for several years.
It's gonna take them at
They
least
get on this real
as it took to fix the Paladin Empyrean bug.
They get on this.
Not-
They get on this real fast, and they fix them as soon as they're made aware in the next version update. If
Yeah, definitely.
the
Yeah,
longest-
for sure.
Oh, okay,
Heghmoh,
cool.
you joke about this, but the prime gun and bow have ranged accuracy on them, and that has not been updated.
But I guess you guys got you put it in the right channel. Make sure you put it in the right channel on the forums, where all you do is
The Japanese channel.
yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I don't know. Cornelia's is obviously a super strong ring. I think it is gonna be a more significant choice if you are a newer player and you're lacking a lot of Naame. I think Dex's point about understanding the scenarios that you're in needs to be emphasized. Because that's exactly what it is. Like if you are attack starved, this is going to be much better than Ephraim's for you most of the time.
Absolutely.
If you are doing magic damage, this is going to be much better than Ephraim's. There's lots of situations where this is better, and there's lots of situations where it probably is not. So I like doing that research and understanding like where you're applying this is super important. If you're trying,
And we can talk more
yeah.
about the PDL element when we get to Ephraim in a few entrances. But like, yeah,
The reason players even don't pick this is because they weigh that assessment in their mind. And the reason why some players will argue staunchly to get the Cornelias regardless is because even if you're weaker than another ring on this list, for example, by how much is the question? Because this is always going to be a flat amount. And even if it's worse in those scenarios, how niche are those scenarios? How often do they come up for you? And even when they do come up, are you 5% weaker? Are you 50% weaker? To be determined, right?
Yeah, no, I've heard from reliable sources that if you use an Ephraim's ring over a Cornelia's ring, your damage actually triples.
yeah, that's what happened to me.
Yeah. That's what I thought. I think this is a good time to talk about the next one on the list, which it's not. It's Ephraim's is the next. Sorry. All right, Rage Elise. I don't know what this one does. This one
Defense 20, Vit 10, Cure Potency received plus 10, and damage taken 10.
Before Murky Ring came out, this was like, drop your freaking defending ring and get this tanks. And then the tanks were like, Garebus, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a like, if Garebus is like the Rune Fencer ring, and this is the Paladin ring, is the way I look at it. And you're not in terms of they should use it, but in terms of like the approach to taking.
You meant that I was gonna say like a paladin would want the Garebus more than this.
That makes sense.
Yeah, this ring just I think it's the worst on the list. It isn't it.
Yeah, it's not very exciting. I don't see anything on here that's particularly exciting.
It's just got slightly more defense on the defending ring, and the cure received almost never comes into play. And now there's a murky ring that is just this, but better. It's a defending ring with Mava on it. So
yeah,
why would you consider this?
That seemed very like an accusation. Why?
Yeah, Dex would be like, Dex is like, if you wear this ring, you're bad, and you should.
I like calling out the user, not the UZ. Not like if there's something that exists out there, it's someone's choice to use it.
Yeah. Okay.
And they're making the wrong choice. Stupid.
There you go.
Whoa. Okay.
So if you are using this ring, please be sure to remember to comment down in the YouTube comments.
Yeah, don't tell Dex.
That Dex offended you, and then please unsubscribe from the channel.
Okay.
See the motions. I would prefer they send an inquiry to HR instead.
Jeez, yeah. All right. Here's another hot button ring. Lekho Haboka's ring.
Lekho. Leko Hoboken's ring.
What do you
It's
guys?
only a hot
this-
button issue because it's a male Mithra, and we're not allowed to be him.
I feel like some very quote unquote prominent XIH posters were going out to bat for this ring.
Yes, they were.
I've heard actually this one comes up often when there's like somebody that's a newer returning player and they're like, "What about?" This is usually a "What about Leko's ring?" You know, like people are interested in this one.
If we had the freedom to grab every ring, or even
Yeah.
just one more ring, you know what? I'd change my mind. If I could get one more ring, I wouldn't get this. I would get another ring first. That being said, this is a ring I would like to have if I had the freedom to get them all.
Yeah. I mean,
this
for a
is really
ring,
cool.
the stats are crazy for like an engaged set. Stored AP10 on it. Haste. I mean, haste 10 like is you're not very often haste starved nowadays, but like haste 10. And I think that like
The crit,
crit
the
hit
big one.
crit hit rate plus 10 is crazy, especially with like some of the primes. Like I would love to goof around with this on Beastmaster.
Yeah.
Because
Prior
Beast is
to Mercy
traditionally
Ring.
yeah, Beast is generally TP starved, having the haste and the store TP, and with the Spell Resource, you have like a crazy crit rate.
Well, new
So-
the Mithrin SU5 set from
yeah,
Limbus has
I
crit.
think you could.
You're right.
I think you could hit 100% crit hit rate with on Beast with the right set.
Yeah, I believe it.
Mhm.
So I think the thing that people like get tricked by in this ring is I think there's a fundamental misunderstanding of where your damage comes from in the wider community. So like it's pretty fairly common for an average DD, excuse me, to do about 80% of your damage from weapon skills, 20% from white hit, and that number obviously fluctuates like quite a bit depending on what job, what weapons, etc., etc. But the store TP that you're getting from this, because if we're being real, the store TP is the only thing you're gaining in order to weapon skill faster.
Yeah, because the haste doesn't really.
Right, the haste you can cap haste without it. You can
Yeah.
you can like it. That's the only thing that's making you weapon skill faster. Realistically, you're gaining 4 store TP over a Chirrut ring. So that 4 store TP does not enable you to weapon skill enough to make up for the damage increase to your weapon skills that the other rings
Yeah.
present.
If you want to get like really into the weeds, I think this ring is worse than Chirrut because I like the Chirrut for the subtle blow and the accuracy, and this doesn't have that at all.
Yeah.
Like this ring wanted to be Raha's but modern, and it kind of wasn't. The haste is like a misnomer on this ring because maybe 6 years ago haste was hard to get, but haste is so easy to get now. And if you're missing haste,
No.
you can use an alabaster ear.
You'd have to go out of your way to build a set that you need that
Really,
haste.
a really bad set, I'll say.
Yeah.
This is one of the and like it's one of those rings too where like when you look at the stats, you kind of wonder if when whoever wrote down the stats for this from the development side understands how haste works. You know what I mean? Like if they understand that it's basically wouldn't even matter if it wasn't there.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I was
Zane?
tempted to get this ring for lol white damage builds when I was like thinking about trying to do white damage with Lafria or trying to do white damage with Ukon or something like that. And I kind of played with the idea for a while before I realized no, it's a bad idea. Like
And you know what? If you're just doing meme white damage, honestly, you know what the better option is if you want to meme white damage? Ephraimons.
Probably.
well,
You know?
yeah, if you don't want the crit rate, yeah. But you can
We're looking
cap.
at the 3 jobs that benefit the most from critting and doing white damage are Ranger, Monk, and Warrior, right?
Yeah, did you say monk? I didn't hear if you said it.
Ranger, Monk, and Warrior.
Yeah.
So, like, prior to the Murky ring, there was only the Begrudging ring for 5 crit, and then the Moo ring for 3 crit. So their list looked like this looked like a Moo with 7 more crit and store TP. And it's like, oh, that's great. But like
Yeah.
for the Murky Ring, it's just 5 more crit and the store TP. You're kind of better off just picking 6 store TP or 5 crit and then getting your weapon still
Absolutely.
boosted when your weapon skills are going to be, even in a white hit build that's focused on critting, your weapon skills are still going to be like 60 to 75% of your damage. There's
Right.
no reason to sacrifice all that for something silly.
Yeah, the only way that like I would be able to justify the crit for this is if you were doing 100% crit build. And I've talked about that like a little bit before, but I don't think like you have to be extremely selfish, and you have to like force your Corsair to give you a rogue's roll and shit.
Rose roll. Yeah.
To like actually pull that off. So like when I've talked about like crit sets in the past, it's something that I'm kind of like still working on the side, and I think it's gonna be a lot of
Mhm.
fun when I get it. But it's like a very rare like 2 Corsair scenario where the monster level is low enough that I can take advantage of like D-Dex and shit. Um, it's not something that I would like actively gear for as far as getting a fucking TBR like I was ran for, because
Right.
it's just too much.
I would argue even against the whole premise of the crit being 100 to make it even worth it. Like if you're doing a crit build, like you're to get to 100 would sacrifice so much that you should just be doing like 60-70% crit and having better things overall. It's kind of like when warriors look at their double attack build and they go, I need to hit exactly 100. But then there's a lot of times where like a gear shuffle and staying at 97% double attack and getting a lot more out of your other gear would be better.
Right.
They it,
You gotta
they,
balance out that stuff first. And if you're sacrificing
yeah.
too much stuff, then it's definitely not gonna be worth it.
It's so easy to get locked in on the 100 number. It's like, I need to do it 100 at a time. But like,
No, you gotta 100% double tank. It's
Yeah.
required.
You gotta see if you can hit that 100 number while also not sacrificing everything else in the set. Right.
my Ranger's TP set is like 60 something crit, and it's almost effectively 100. It happens so fucking often. I don't think I would need to bump that up further at the
Well, also, I
cost.
mean, you've got like your natural crit rate. You've got, whatever you get from merits and stuff. Like,
It all is,
uh,
yeah, it all comes
yeah,
in.
there's D decks and whatever doing some as well.
So the next
Yeah.
ring is another TP ring,
Hmm.
but it's the pet ring. So
Oh hell yeah.
when I think of like the Kirik or the Rajas comparison, it's like
Mhm.
Lekos and Flickbix or Fickblix should be the same thing, should be combined. That would be the crazy TP ring right there.
Honestly, this is the Tharn dots as well. You know what I mean? Like, if you only play pet jobs, dude, this has pet damage plus 10%.
If the Lekos
Yep.
removed 10 crit but had the 10 double, and then the 10 crit was like on the Ephromads or something, that'd be amazing.
Dude, honestly, when I finish gearing up or setting up my puppet master, I might switch to this ring just to play around with it.
So like you were saying, accuracy on pet is really hard to come by.
Yeah.
So, to
Well,
me, I
magic
see those
accuracy
accuracy
here,
stats.
especially.
Normal accuracy is pretty common.
Yeah.
The damage plus 10 is crazy.
I was gonna say, like, I look at this ring and I see like the accuracy stats and I'm like, yeah, whatever. But then damage plus 10%, that's fucking huge.
And the magic
Not even
accuracy
mention.
is slightly less common. And then you get, like anything too for I feel like increasingly they've gotten a lot better about this. But on any pet job, anything that has like stats for both the player and the pet is such a awesome thing.
Yes.
So I have 10% double attack and pet damage plus 10. Like that's like such a cool
Yeah, not
cool
even like,
option.
if you're playing a pet job, even if you're not playing a pet job,
Yeah.
if you're gonna be TPing as a DD, you
Yeah.
can't just look at this and just throw it out the window immediately. You have to consider 10 double attack in your set, and you're like, actually, maybe that is worth it alone. Forget the pet stat.
And subtle blow. I mean, if you're playing, subtle blow is a pretty big
It's not
stat
nothing.
to, yeah.
So, at the end of the day, I think most DDs will comfortably lean more towards Lecos or just not PPing in a TBR ring. But you can't just ignore the 10 double. It's a very good stat even
Yeah.
today on a ring. Nothing really comes close to that.
Yeah, except for Hogsney. No, I'm just
Yeah, if you're a job that uses a Hogsney Taslim or whatever, then Ampula, then this is completely worthless.
I don't know. It's
But I mean,
10%
both,
chance to save 1k gil. So
yeah, both,
that's a big deal.
both, well,
Is that how that works?
Puppet Master can't use Hawk the Sneak because it has you have to
Oh right, yeah, that's true. That's true. Beastmaster can, but like
you have to
if you do your
clear
reward,
your Hawk Sneak, yeah.
I was thinking about that the other day. I wish they'd change Beastmaster's reward to just be like Dragoon Spirit Link.
Yeah, just
Can't
use
you-
yeah.
Yeah.
Can't you summon a automaton without an animator, but you can't send it commands? Like you can't use
Yeah. I don't think you can use maneuvers, which are massive.
So what's the problem?
Yeah, but Dex is saying is just play Monk.
Yeah.
But no, for real,
Be
like,
a monk that has a pet that does like none of your damage and just hang.
No, I see.
Yeah.
the problem I have with pet rings from stories is it pisses me off because they're a lot of the time good like this, and they have like no competition outside of story rings. Like the next best pet ring is what, like the Kate Sith ring, and that's
That's
what
what accuracy, magic accuracy, and like 5DT or something.
yeah, the stuff that Beastmaster has to like, or I guess Pup and Summoner as well, to actually like boost your pet stats is so few and far between, and most of it, all it does is just give fucking accuracy. It drives me
I
crazy.
totally agree with you.
Like let my pet do a little bit of damage. If my pet
So
is half
essentially,
the
like,
job,
if you want to play a pet job, you're fucking handcuffed. You have to get these items because they're so
Yeah.
powerful. But then you handicap yourself in that your other jobs get fucked. So
Right.
why the hell? First of all, we should just be able to get all these rings. Like, let us repeat the story and get the ring again. That way, you don't get handicapped in that way. And if that's a balance issue, then don't make them so strong. Make them a little bit weaker.
yeah, that's my biggest frustration with the pet stuff in particular, is that it's so far above the other options that it has, is that it feels bad to play a pet job without it.
I'm not
And
gonna
what-
lie. The fact that these things are like so good that they're necessary on a pet job is part of the reason that I feel compelled not to play a pet job.
Well, because
definitely part of
then you feel like in order to be the best at Puppet Master, even if you're, it's your passion job, it's something you really want to play, but then you're like, well, I guess I'll be nuking my sortie group if I do that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah,
Well, like I'm gonna play other jobs. The pet job will not be my main, but like if I'm gonna play a pet job, I want to gear it to its maximum. Oh wait, I can't. I'm physically unable unless I neuter my jobs I care more about. Okay, I guess I'm just not gonna play the job. That's kind of
Have you considered caring less? Because that's kind of what helped me get geared on Beastmaster. Is like,
Yeah.
I know I'm not gonna be like the best at it, but it's gonna be fun. And now,
That's my problem, man. I care.
and now like Beastmaster is my favorite thing to do assaults on.
Yeah.
And could you imagine?
So I have a follow-up question.
Okay.
To main heal your party with Pondering Peter, do you even need that 10%?
Oh, dude. Not only can I main heal my party with Pondering Peter, but I can also send out some fat Whirl Claws. Okay.
Hell yeah.
Yes, Daddy.
Jesus. Whirl Claws is how I AoE Iron Jar. Okay. And that just means I could do it one fewer time.
You're not using Figmina Buffet? Silly goose.
No, because Whirl Claws, the AoE is much larger. So for Iron Jar with the
Oh, you're a size queen. Got it.
yeah, for sure. Okay, cool. What else do we have on? Oh yeah, it's just Ephraimov.
Final ring. Ephraimov.
Ephraimons, baby.
PDL, man. How does it work? Let's all stop what we're doing and watch Heghmoh's Luna Shade video.
Yeah. Yeah. So the
Yeah.
problem with PDL, right, The problem with PDL is that it's different with every single thing that you engage, right? So like
Yep.
it's impossible to say unless you had some crazy database of every single mob's attack values and defense values, or defense values rather. Like you never know for sure if you are benefiting from PDL or not. So it kind of becomes like sometimes this might be better kind of situation. But I use that for mods personally.
Same. So to me, this boils down to how often you will be in a scenario where, so say you take the PDL off of it, it's weaker than Cornelia's, but by how much? By just having a Regal, right?
Yeah.
Because it's essentially just a Regal ring. It's a little bit better than Regal ring.
Yeah, that's
but
what I was gonna say. Is that it's basically Regal Ring with the option is occasionally it'll be even better with PDL plus 10.
but it's a Regal ring with more accuracy without the set
Yeah,
bonus, right? So
exactly.
it's a Regal ring, and it's a little bit weaker than Cornelia's. And then when the PDL matters, the PDL makes it much better than Cornelia.
Yeah,
So it's the same argument Cornelia's users are making. Cornelia's users are like, this is good all the time. And when it's weaker than Ephramad's, it's not much weaker. And then
yeah,
when Ephramad's is weaker than Cornelia's, it's not much weaker.
yeah,
So what does that boil down to? It boils down to, is 50% or more of your percent of the time of the content you're doing on a daily basis
yeah.
gonna utilize the Ephramad's or the Cornelia's? And that depends on the
Right.
player. That
Yeah,
depends
and I think
entirely on the
like
player.
I think when people ask about this one, normally my response is like, do you more often play solo or in a full party where you have chaos and minuets and honor march and maybe a geo, and it's like, are you stacking a ton of attack and defense down and full send it Zerg with all the buffs, or are you often playing kind of low man with 2 or 3 people, or solo with trust? Like that's kind of the distinguishing factor to me.
Myth isn't commenting because he didn't get this ring and he hates it.
Yeah, honestly, what I did is I took my Shiraj logic and I applied it to Dex. So when
Oh, sure. I
so
was
when
saying he
yeah.
was
Yeah,
is-
so when I came back to the game after a break and TVR was out and Dex had already finished it because
yeah.
he's Dex, I was like, "Hey, what's this PDL shit? What train should I get?" And he goes, "Ephraim's," and I was like, "Cool, I'm getting Cornelia's." I see. That's no, I'm just kidding. I have Evermods. It's really good. Use it. That's all I have to say.
In general, my understanding is like, this obviously always depends. I hate that I have to say that, but it depends on, your target's defense, your attack, everything. But when you are benefiting from PDL, one PDL isn't like one weapon skill damage. It's a lot
Yeah.
more.
Yeah. And especially because like you generally are way over capped on weapon skill damage because you have so many sources of it, and PDL isn't affected in the same way. And it's not necessarily, somebody said something about like not hitting damage cap, so Cornelia is better for them, but that's not necessarily the case, because the thing is, it's not about hitting cap damage. It's about, are you attack capped? Which is a very and again, like Dex was joking earlier, but like I break down the math on that in the Luna Shed video because it's about PDL to a degree, because that's what Aria Passion
I
does.
don't think that was a
And it's
joke.
like,
I think your video is very informative.
and like that, like if you really want to get into the math of like what PDL does, is it basically increases the amount of attack that you can take advantage of. And so, long story short, sometimes even if you're not doing quote cap damage, you may still benefit from having PDL if you are highly attack buffed.
Without being like overly correct and just breaking it down, oversimplifying it. If you're going to do 15,000 damage, but you're at attack cap on that target, and the best you can do at attack cap is 15,000, then the PDL is going to put you maybe up to 20, 30,000
Yeah.
if you have enough PDL. It just makes your attack work harder. That's really all it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that earlier when Dex said, I hate that I have to say it depends. The first thing that popped into my mind was like, no, we as Final Fantasy 11 players love to say it depends and then go into long explanations about like game mechanics and stuff like that. So never apologize
I'll
for
sniper
yeah.
joke in there.
Oh, for sure, for sure. We love depends and we love sitting at the computer figuring out PDL long enough to
That,
need.
just want
that brings us to our first sponsored ad read. Are you an aging Final Fantasy 11 player? Well, we've got a great tip for you.
Jesus Christ.
You don't have to get up anymore during sortie. You could just stay
Do
around.
you find 1 hour sortie runs to be a little bit too long for your bathroom?
Or Dinah's leave you dripping.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, I mean, I think the unfortunate thing is that like they love PDL is the newest stat, really. Like it's the thing that they started pushing like kind of most recently on gear, and it's pretty commonly available on a lot of stuff now. But there is literally zero way to know if and when you're benefiting from it, except for you noticed your auto attack damage went up when you added more PDL.
We should ask Vegito about PDL in the next primed.
Oh, like
Yeah,
ask him to explain it.
Yeah, and he'll be like, well, have you guys tried the mechanic? Have you done the mechanic where you get it and then it works? And
You
he'll be
know,
like, oh,
will you
thanks.
put more PDL on the gear, or will you explain how PDL works for us plebs? And
Yeah.
it says no.
And we'll just be like, no, you're fine. Oh man, cool.
You actually don't need PDL to do any of the content. So
That's actually
Nice.
kind of true, but you know, whatever. We don't really.
mission rewards to talk about.
I don't think so. I think that was it.
So
Yeah.
long story short, I think pretty much everyone knew all the answers. There wasn't any like
Yeah.
secret
nothing like-
information.
I'd like to add a qualifying like mark on this that I know Milo was kind of asking for a UNM style discussion, but I feel like it's hard to do that same style of discussion when you are limited to one choice of a rank.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think we
You
tried.
didn't pick up everything.
Right. I think we tried to like discuss what each thing could be used for and it can and like is oftentimes or like where it could be applied. But realistically we do have to consider like the fact that you can only pick one. Yeah. That's all I got.
Highlander. I think Milo was kind of hoping that there was some sort of overlooked ring or reward that was good in these XYZ niches that he would then be educated on. And, that way, you play a job and you find out, oh, that silly thing is best for this, and you have never considered it. And I'm sure that's happened to a lot of people, and it's nice to find out. But for the most part, other than like maybe the Garebus for tanking or some stuff from Adulin, there isn't too many rings that are like niche good. They're just you're too limited. You have to pick the best overall for all your jobs. So you tend to.
And I think
pick
it's
the
also
one
really,
skill one.
it's hard to answer that question for somebody else. Cause like, yeah, like I think that there were a few instances where like, yeah, if you're a backline only, you only play white mage, you only play whatever, like the magic resistance, magic evasion ring is maybe the best option because you're not going to be weapon skill damaging. So you don't have that advantage. Like, if you only play pet jobs, there are some options that might be enticing to you. But in terms of like, you play warrior, you play monk, you play, like some more meta jobs that a lot of people are playing. There's kind of generally one, maybe two options to consider.
It's kind of weird to say, but I've been back to the game now for over 6 years, to about 6.5. And the game has evolved quite a lot in that short time, like strange to say. And honestly, like playing one job is not really efficient anymore. Most people play 4 or 5.
I've kind of a random question related to that just kind of popped into my head. Do you guys think the game is kind of at odds with itself, considering the rewards can only be limited to one option, but the game encourages you to play,
Well,
Yeah.
3, 5,
absolutely.
10 jobs?
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
yeah, because you're really in like the design of the game is to know gear more and more and more and more jobs, right? You want to like Odyssey requires it. So many things require you to swap around. Um, but yeah, at the same time, like you only get one reward. And like this goes back to like this is why we're frustrated with Limbus gear. You know what I mean? Because it's like you can't just pick one piece to work on. You know what I mean? Like if you're probably playing four different jobs. So you might need multiple pieces from all four of the sets, pretending like the Tartar set doesn't exist. But it's like
It
you
doesn't.
need so much. And so yeah, like you're looking at grinding the stuff out for forever.
Right.
Realistically, from like a dev perspective, why create a new expansion? Why create 100 new pieces of gear? Why create all this stuff when you have, 100 warriors in front of you that play warrior and they want to play warrior and new content? When you could incentivize them to pick up a new job and have a whole new track of grind to do without you releasing any new content at all. So incentivizing the players to play multiple jobs just increases their playtime exponentially. It's a smart decision for them to do. And to your point, Myth, absolutely. These one only choices are completely at odds with that design philosophy. If this was like another MMO where you could only play one class, then that would be more acceptable. But we're not in that game. And I don't know why they continue down this route. I truly believe that my argument earlier stands where, like, if you think these rings are so powerful by themselves, then just make them weaker. No one's gonna care. Make them weaker
Mm.
and let us get them all. I'll do the story over again. I don't give a shit. Make me do the story again over on hard mode if you want to make a hard mode.
But also, like, are they so powerful? You know what I mean? Like, even though
Some of them are.
I think that's like a balance of like incentive and having a reward that feels enticing. But at the same time, it's like, would it really break the game if I had
No,
Lekos and
no.
F1 No.
Realistically,
Yeah, like,
if you had every one of these unchanged, the game wouldn't just suddenly like
yeah,
become easy mode overnight. It wouldn't be stupid. It wouldn't be broken. It would eliminate a lot of other options, especially crafted ones. But
yeah.
who cares? Like, if as long as you're making the effort the player has to do comparable to the reward, like make them do work for it, then I don't see a problem with that.
I don't know. I'm always of the mindset, break the game. Fuck it. Who cares?
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
it's
Or I mean,
2026.
especially like, we're going to the 2025th, the 25th anniversary next year. We're going 24th in a month or so, right? And so it's like, yeah, I mean, look, I think that we would all be happy to just to to be busted strong. You know what I mean? Like, who cares? At this point, it's not like I don't know. I guess their fear is that we get bored, right? But we're doing
Yeah.
Limbus and we're still here. So,
Replayability. You want to get people logging in for more hours? Tell them to go do the story over again. But the second time you do it, it's a
the
level
New Game
harder,
Plus,
5 levels
New Game
harder.
Plus.
Yeah. Like, that's hundreds of hours of gameplay. And yeah, players will groan about it, but they're gonna fucking do it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, Dex is definitely gonna do it. My
Oh man,
n-
imagine how many more Mog wardrobes they'd have to sell. That's a good point. If
yeah.
we had all the rings. That's
Look, if they haven't driven people off with Sortie and Limbus already, you're not
yeah.
gonna drive them off now with whatever else you do, right? You've already like tested the waters, seen how insane we are to do this content
Yeah.
over again. I just finished my
Look,
10th Limbus run, by the way.
we hate it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And he hated it so much, he was like grumbling and groaning while chatting with us. He just kept muting it.
Yeah. I'm on
Talking
my
about like
6th.
breaking the game though, like they can't break the game with arbitrary stats, like
Right.
giving
And
us
that's what I mean.
extra rings and shit. It'll be fine. Like, I've said this a million times, and I'll keep saying it until they fucking implemented it. Why can't we have uncapped merit categories? It's the same argument. Like,
Mm.
it's not going to change anything. Are they doing it because they're afraid of balance? Like, it's stupid.
I mean, I think it's just again, like I think everything goes back to like how much time are you going to spend, and like having to invest into one job's, or one category of merits, and even just that time of like, okay, we better go out and farm some merits so that we can switch to it's like, I don't know. I think that so many of their decisions are just influenced by trying to get you to do different activities as much as possible so that you have a time commitment all the time.
Yeah, makes sense. It's all a conspiracy to soak up your time.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, this was kind of like the closing of this is all the stuff, and now we're complaining about the system itself, not the brain.
No, I feel like we're just circling back to complain about Fujito more.
Yeah, it just goes back to the beginning of the
It comes to
conversation where-
Fujito specifically. It has everything to do with the Deb philosophy.
I should post this on Reddit and be like, this is why Fujito sucks, and then like directly compare the results and engagement that we get to the why we thought Limbus was good.
Well,
And
you
be
can,
like, what gets better ratings, the negativity or the positivity?
well, you could do like you can do that on YouTube when you post it. Do A/B testing on the title, and it'll automatically tell you which one performs better. Like it'll just do one that's like
crazy.
our thoughts on the recent dev discussion as one, and then be like why Fujito hates you as the second one, and see if like you can see which one performs. Yeah. Why?
See what's more clip.
Final Fantasy 11 director Fujito hates you specifically.
Oh man, that
I
would be
hope,
hilarious.
jokes aside, I hope he doesn't see that like image of him going around.
No, it probably already has.
Yeah, like it's on a YouTube video already. It's on the auction house, like it's all over the place. And if you're looking for it, it's also on my Twitch.
You follow me, you can use it whenever you want.
I have to, for clarity, that's definitely an edit. He didn't do that verbatim.
No, he did that
The
exact
version
thing.
on Myths is the string cap. He did the true capture. There is an edited where it looks a little bit more clear, and they adjusted it, but I mean, it happened.
God damn.
He did that, and Shijin's asking. So he scratched his eye. He like scratched his eye with his middle finger, and so he's just flipping off the camera, and then yeah, there's a frame where he's reaching towards his eye, and yeah, it looks out of context, and given the added context of the entire thing, where it's just like, no, you got
Where he was like, no.
Yeah, he's like, nah, fuck you guys. All right, guys. That's all I got for today. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up.
Happy
Thank
30th.
you both. Yeah, happy 30th episode of the podcast.
Yeah.
Here's to 30 more. All with 3-week breaks in between.
Yeah, with the
Dude,
going
that's
trend.
30 more episodes. Hell yeah, 2028.
Hell yeah.
So next episode in 4 weeks, and then the next one after that in 5.
The premier weekly, monthly Final Fantasy 11 podcasts.
Eventually, we'll be blurred
Oh.
1 to 2 times a year.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. That way we can keep our reign going as best podcast. All right, guys. That is it for me. Thank you all, and I will see you next time.
See ya. Bye.